Chapter 53. Ding. Detected that the host is in danger, triggering the special mission, King of the Jungle. Name, King of the Jungle. Description: you, who have reached the wisdom state, have taken a fearless and ignorant step and arrived at the stage where the top predators compete with each other. Now, you are facing 3 strong opponents. Until the final moment, no one knows the result. Will you kill all your opponents, or be torn to pieces by your opponents? From now on, no one can leave this battlefield. Please fight to your heart's content. Mission reward: 1 chance to shed skin. Failure punishment: death. Looking at the new mission, Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils were filled with killing intent. He didn't want to fight with these 3 monsters, but they didn't seem to want to let him go. Since that's the case, then let's fight. As the rain fell, Lin Yuan felt that he had obviously become stronger. Although the effect of adding 1 to all attributes brought by the rain was not obvious under the 2-digit attributes, at such a moment, even 1 attribute point may determine the outcome of this battle. Golden Body Secrets. Tail Strike. Without hesitation, Lin Yuan turned his snake body and swung his tail, which had been tempered to a dark golden color, at the 3-tailed multicolored tiger that had just given him a head-on blow. He wasn't a snake that held a grudge. If he had a grudge, he would take revenge on the spot. Seeing Lin Yuan counterattack with his snake tail, the 3-tailed multicolored tiger's eyes showed a touch of human contempt. After all, it was a Class 9 monster. How could a Class 7 black snake compare to its physical strength? Therefore, the 3-tailed multicolored tiger had no intention of dodging. It raised its tiger claws again and slapped at Lin Yuan's snake tail. Bang! The snake tail and the tiger claw collided, and the sound of the rain was suppressed for a moment. Under Lin Yuan's snake body that was supporting his body, black cracks like a spider web suddenly spread out. The 3-tailed tiger, however, was unable to withstand Lin Yuan's tail attack and was sent flying out on the spot. It flew 30 meters away. The tiger claw that collided with the snake tail was already badly mutilated, as if it was crippled. Puff! Lin Yuan opened his snake mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. His blue and white eyes stared at the 3-tailed tiger that was sent flying. He didn't have much of an advantage in terms of strength against strength. It was only the effect of the golden body technique that helped him avoid some of the damage, so he wasn't sent flying on the spot. The tempered dark gold snake body was fine, but the snake body that hadn't been tempered cracked inch by inch, tearing open hideous wounds. Whoosh! The fire-breathing sparrow opened its mouth again and spat out a fire dragon at Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan smiled contemptuously. His mind moved, and the falling rainwater instantly flowed backward. Layer by layer, the rainwater rotated to protect the icicle in the middle and directly hit the fire dragon of the fire-breathing sparrow. After all, the fire-breathing sparrow's fire dragon suffered from the weather. The power of the fire dragon was far less than before, and the amount of water that Lin Yuan controlled was far more terrifying than before. Therefore, in this collision, the fire-breathing sparrow couldn't even confront Lin Yuan. The fire dragon was extinguished, and the icicle directly pierced its chest and sent it flying. Come on! Come and mess with me! Lin Yuan roared angrily with his mind. The 3-tailed multicolored tiger stood up shakily from the ground. The bloody claw instantly healed, but one of its tails was missing. Seeing this scene, Lin Yuan's expression turned solemn. This 3-tailed multicolored tiger's innate talent was amazing. It was actually something similar to the 9-life cat, but it used one of its tails to heal one of its claws. Obviously, it didn't really have 3 lives to fight with Lin Yuan. The 3-tailed multicolored tiger stood up, just in time to see the fire-breathing sparrow being sent flying. Without waiting for it to react, Lin Yuan's huge snake body burst out with agility that was completely incompatible with its body size. In an instant, Lin Yuan came to its side and opened his bloody mouth to bite the 3-tailed multicolored tiger's throat. Hiss! A cold snake hiss sounded. The python, which hadn't moved before, saw that Lin Yuan had the upper hand at this moment. It didn't dare to have the idea of reaping the benefits of a fisherman's fight. it twisted its huge snake body and coiled up. The two behemoths, both close to 30 meters long, intertwined together. Even as a level 9 demonic beast, the three-tailed multicolored tiger couldn't help but show a frightened expression. It subconsciously wanted to escape from this battlefield, but a black snake tail and a brown snake tail coiled around at the same time, directly pulling the three-tailed multicolored tiger in. Even if the three-tailed multicolored tiger tried its best to resist, leaving two deep and long scratch marks on the ground with its two front paws, it was still forcibly dragged into the center of the entanglement between the two pythons. Roar! A tiger roar filled with despair and unwillingness sounded. The three-tailed multicolored tiger was strangled by the two pythons' twisting bodies. Its flesh and bones were directly twisted into minced meat. Even the hardest part of its head, at this moment, had been squeezed until its eyes protruded and its bones cracked. Clearly, it was not far from completely collapsing. Come, let's see who will kill who. Feeling the strength of the brown python strangling him, Lin Yuan's snake mouth continuously spilled blood, and even some broken pieces of his internal organs were also expelled. Whether it was the three demonic beasts taking the initiative to attack or the system's mission, Lin Yuan was ruthless. If it was in the past, he wouldn't be so crazy as to entangle and strangle a python that was about the same size as him. Strangle. 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 The system's skills were activated again and again. Lin Yuan's eyes were blurred, and he had even lost his mind. He was only instinctively launching attacks. The black snake scales rolled and cracked, and a large amount of flesh was directly squeezed out. One could even see the dense white bones in Lin Yuan's body. It could be seen that the battle was fierce. Of course, his opponent's condition wasn't much better. It was completely relying on its instincts to continue entangling with Lin Yuan. Under such an intense entanglement, Lin Yuan's proficiency of the strangle skill also rose rapidly. Ding! Congratulations to the host. The proficiency of the strangle skill has been stacked to the max. It has successfully advanced to death entanglement. Suddenly, an electronically synthesized sound from the system woke Lin Yuan up from his completely instinctive state. The brown python was still entangled with him. Clearly, it still had a chance of survival. He didn't know where this thing came from. Even the three-tailed multicolored tiger couldn't withstand the strangle power, but this brown python actually ate it all. Moreover, it was mercilessly returning the favor to Lin Yuan. You're not bad, but I won. After waking up, Lin Yuan coldly smiled and added the remaining 2 attribute points to defense. Boom! Lin Yuan's aura suddenly rose. In an instant, he went from a 7th-level demonic beast to a 8th-level demonic beast. All the wounds on his body also instantly healed. Chapter 54. Death entanglement was an advanced skill of strangulation, so its power was naturally incomparable. Strangulation was just a technique used by snakes to use their own muscles. While entangling the prey, they would constantly contract their own muscles, using their strength to suffocate the prey and gradually make it lose its ability to resist. Then, they would crush the bones of the prey and completely turn it into a pile of rotten meat. However, death entanglement added another technique to the foundation of strangulation. It was somewhat similar to one of the crocodile hunting techniques that Lin Yuan had seen on TV in his previous life, death roll. After entangling the target, it would carry out a small but high-frequency tearing and crushing effect. Just by adding a way to use the muscles, the damage caused would increase exponentially. Hiss! A long snake hiss came out of Lin Yuan's mouth. It was not loud, but it was a long snake hiss. He was venting the emotions in his heart, and at the same time, he was announcing to the Hengduan mountain range that a new top predator had officially entered this stage. Shaking his snake body, Lin Yuan pulled his body away from the pile of rotten meat. His blue and white vertical pupils drifted as he began to search for the fire-breathing sparrow that he had severely injured with the icicles. The prompt for killing the prey did not sound, but the three-tailed tiger and the brown python were already dead. Even if the system determined that the three-tailed tiger was killed by the brown python, then after he killed the brown python, the system should have sounded with a notification and given him an attribute point reward. Lin Yuan thought for a moment and felt that the system should have not given him a reward because the mission was not completed yet. Thinking of this, Lin Yuan's heart also had a touch of fear. If he hadn't been awakened by the prompt of the skill advancement from the state of completely relying on instinct to fight, and if he hadn't reserved the attribute points to advance to the rank 8 monster beast in advance, then it would be hard to say who would win and who would lose between him and the brown python. Even if he was lucky enough to win, the bird that was hit by the icicle was not something he could deal with in his near-death state. After advancing to the 8th level, Lin Yuan's snake body had grown to an extremely frightening extent. The previous 7 levels of growth only added up to 25 meters, but the 8th level allowed his body to grow to 40 meters, almost catching up to the total growth of the previous 7 levels. Moreover, it wasn't just the length of his body that had grown. At this moment, his snake body had also reached the width of a large wooden barrel, which was about 2 meters. The current Lin Yuan was a true colossus. Logically speaking, the benefits of an increase in size were great. At the very least, it could provide more power. However, the drawbacks were also not small. For example, an increase in food intake, an increase in risk of exposure, and so on. He was rather envious of that Wisdom Realm mountain-shaking ape. It was able to control its body to the level of an ordinary ape. He didn't know if it was an innate talent or some kind of high-level demonic beast skill. As he pondered, Lin Yuan wriggled his snake body and swam around the area designated as a battlefield by the system. The snake's tongue flickered continuously, and the scene within a 500-meter radius appeared in Lin Yuan's mind and was constantly being updated. Found it. Lin Yuan's slithering snake body paused for a moment. He lifted his huge snake head and looked at a towering tree in front of him. The bright red fluffy bird no longer had its previous appearance. At this moment, its feathers were completely soaked by the rain and stuck to its body in a mess. There was a scorched scar on its chest. Based on the visual observation, it should be Lin Yuan's icicle that had pierced through its chest. Then, it used flames to burn its wound in order to stop the large amount of blood from flowing out. The treatment of wounds by wild beasts was incomparable to that of humans. After all, in the jungle, even the slightest injury could cause a top predator to lose its life. Chirp chirp. Seeing Lin Yuan's gaze fall on its body, the fire-breathing sparrow immediately cried out in panic. With its small brain capacity, it simply couldn't understand how things had developed to this point. 2 level 8 monster beasts working together with a level 9 monster beast were actually killed by a level 7 monster beast. Moreover, the level 7 monster beast had even advanced in the battle. Lin Yuan did not pay attention to the fire-breathing sparrow. His eyes were indifferent as he controlled the falling rain, turning them into sharp icicles that pierced through the fire-breathing sparrow's small body. Natural selection, survival of the fittest. This was the most basic law of the jungle. Whether it was in the past, present, or future, it would not change. Lin Yuan had already made the first move to retreat. However, the greed of these 3 monsters had activated the system's deathmatch task. During this period of time, this was the first time Lin Yuan had seen the system use its own power to interfere with his advance and retreat in a battle. Was it because the dove snake's bone had almost stolen its power? Or was it because Lin Yuan had chosen to retreat when facing these 3 monsters? In short, no matter which of these 2 reasons it was, Lin Yuan could be sure that the system was now very angry. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the task, King of the Jungle. The reward is a chance to shed skin. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing level 8 monster fire sparrow. The reward is 1 attribute point. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing level 8 monster deadwood python. The reward is 1 attribute point. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing level 9 monster undying tiger. The reward is 3 attribute points. A series of synthesized electronic sounds rang out. Lin Yuan felt somewhat weak and limp. Although when he advanced, the system's power had healed all the injuries on his body. However, the feeling of walking through the gates of hell was not a good feeling. Lin Yuan's mind was now exhausted to the extreme. Opening his bloody mouth, Lin Yuan swallowed the fire sparrow on the ground into his mouth. Wriggling his oral muscles, he sent it into his digestive system. This could be considered one of the advantages of snakes. Because they only had venomous fangs, snakes would never tear apart a monster's corpse. Basically, they would swallow it whole, minimizing the drawback of the smell of blood. Although the fire sparrow's body was not big, it was after all a level 8 monster. The energy contained within its flesh was simply not comparable to that of a normal monster. Therefore, while continuously digesting the fire sparrow in his stomach, Lin Yuan could clearly feel a warm current flowing through his body. It was a bit similar to the feeling of the golden body secrets tempering the body. However, it was clear that even if Lin Yuan used all this energy to cultivate the golden body secrets, he would not be able to temper a 1-meter-long snake body. On the contrary, he might lose his mind due to hunger and rashly intrude into the territory of a powerful monster. When he was in the monster forest, it did not matter. However, in the Hengduan Mountains, Lin Yuan had no choice but to be cautious. The 3 monsters in front of him had already given him a vivid lesson. Level 8 and Level 9 demonic beasts were terrifying existences that could dominate the entire demonic beasts forest. However, in the Hengduan Mountains, they were only weaklings at the bottom of the food chain. They could only gather together to hunt for prey. Chapter 55. The next day, early morning. In the outer region of the Hengduan mountain range, in a calm lake. Lin Yuan hid his 40-meter-long snake body under the lake. Yesterday, Lin Yuan didn't encounter any suitable prey. Apart from the first 3 demonic beasts, Lin Yuan didn't encounter any suitable targets. Even the corpses of the deadwood python and undying tiger were not eaten by Lin Yuan. This was because after swallowing the fire sparrow, he heard a faint sound. Although he didn't know what kind of demonic beast was approaching him, Lin Yuan was sure that it wasn't something that he could deal with. 2 Class 8 demonic beasts and 1 Class 9 demonic beast. Although they were only at the bottom of the food chain, when they fought to the death, even Class 10 demonic beasts had no choice but to retreat. After Lin Yuan killed these 3 demonic beasts, he didn't even have time to eat before a new demonic beast appeared in that area. What did this mean? It meant that the other party was definitely not some weak scavenging demonic beast. It probably didn't even put Lin Yuan in its eyes, so it directly swaggered over and prepared to devour Lin Yuan's spoils of war. Since even a clay figurine would have some temper, Lin Yuan very obediently retreated. After he left, the system's voice slowly sounded, telling Lin Yuan that it was a wisdom perception demonic beast. As for the lake that Lin Yuan was hiding in, it was also a temporary shelter that he found with great difficulty. Originally, there was a group of piranhas that occupied this place, but the strongest one was only a Class 7 demonic beast. After confirming that Lin Yuan was a water snake, they very willingly left this area of water. It could be said that it was quite realistic. At this moment, there were 7 bull-shaped demonic beasts that were close to 10 feet long drinking water by the lakeside. There were 4 bull-shaped demonic beasts that had already finished drinking water and were lying on the ground resting. From time to time, they would shake their tails to drive away mosquitoes. A total of 11 Class 9 demonic beasts. Lin Yuan resisted the urge to launch a sneak attack and quietly observed the herd. Yesterday, the level 9 undead tiger had given him 3 attribute points. In Lin Yuan's eyes, these wild bulls were moving attribute point gift bags. However, Lin Yuan still had some self-awareness. He knew very well that 11 level 9 mystical beasts were beyond his ability. Even if he could kill 1 or 2 of them with a sneak attack, he would be trampled into meat paste by the rest of the herd. Hunters were very patient, so Lin Yuan was waiting for a suitable opportunity to strike. The snake flicked its forked tongue out of habit, and another scene appeared in its mind. Lin Yuan suddenly became spirited. He was not the only hunter. In the nearby forest, 6 giant wolves with snow-white fur, each of them 7 feet long, had gathered at an unknown time. These white wolves looked travel-worn. It was obvious that they had been following behind the herd. In their scarlet eyes, there was no trace of greed. They seemed to be waiting for all the wild bulls to finish drinking water and rest before attacking. In the natural world, felines were the natural enemies of snakes because they had reactions that were not inferior to snakes. Although the white wolves were canines, they had agility that was not inferior to most felines. At the same time, they also had intelligence and cooperation that other animals could not reach. Lin Yuan was glad that he did not act rashly. Otherwise, if he disturbed the herd, these white wolves would definitely treat him as a substitute for the herd and devour him. Finally, all the wild bulls finished drinking water and lazily lay on the shore to rest. They seemed to know this body of water very well. They knew that the piranha demonic beasts in the body of water would not pose any threat to them. Awoo! At this moment, the leader of the white wolves suddenly howled to the sky. It seemed to be a signal to launch an attack. At this moment, the wild bulls could not escape immediately, nor could they immediately get up to meet the enemy. It was indeed the best time to attack. 6 white wolves pounced out of the forest and attacked the 3 wild bulls in groups of 2. Lin Yuan, who witnessed all this, sneered. These white wolves were smart. The wild bulls that they attacked were also the older ones. For this kind of social animal, nothing was more important than the reproduction of the group. If the white wolves attacked a few young bulls, the herd of wild bulls would definitely fight to the death. But it was another matter when the white wolves attacked the old bulls. These wild bulls might give up the few old bulls that were entangled by the white wolves and retreat in order to ensure the safety of the young bulls. However, the next scene subverted Lin Yuan's understanding. Because the herd of wild bulls that stood up did not intend to retreat at all. Instead, they launched a charge at the white wolves. What appeared in the eyes of the bulls was not fear, but the excitement of seeing prey. I almost forgot that there are no demonic beasts that are vegetarian. These wild bulls are food in the eyes of the white wolves, and the white wolves are also food in the eyes of the wild bulls. Lin Yuan calmed down for a while before he cleaned up the complicated emotions in his heart. This was the first time he saw a herd of wild bulls hunting a pack of wolves. Just as the two sides were fighting, Lin Yuan, who was hiding in the water, moved. His body covered in black snake scales suddenly broke out of the water like a huge shadow. Under the horrified gaze of one of the wild bulls, he directly bit its head and dragged it into the lake. His sharp poisonous fangs pierced into the wild bull's neck, and without hesitation, he poured the poison into it. In an instant, the wild bull lost most of its ability to resist. Under Lin Yuan's death entanglement, it approached death step by step. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing the level 9 demonic beast, Barbarian Earth Bull. The reward is 2 attribute points. When the system notification rang out, Lin Yuan had already started to devour the dead wild bull's corpse. It seemed that the Barbarian Earth Bull was far inferior to the undying tiger that was entangled by the 2 pythons yesterday. It only provided Lin Yuan with 2 attribute points. With the appearance of Lin Yuan, the battle between the white wolves and the Barbarian Earth Bulls became a little more complicated. Except for the 2 Barbarian Earth Bulls that were bitten in the vital parts and could no longer stand up, the rest of the Barbarian Earth Bulls had gathered together and were staring covetously at the wolves that were baring their teeth. At the same time, they were also afraid of Lin Yuan, who would emerge from the water again. I'm still not full. Lin Yuan couldn't help but sigh as he swallowed the Barbarian Earth Bull completely. After his body grew bigger, the requirement for energy had also increased by a lot. Even after eating the Barbarian Earth Bull, he didn't feel full at all. He was only 1/3 full, which was only slightly better than the fire sparrow he had eaten yesterday. Ripples appeared on the surface of the water once again. Both the white wolves and the Barbarian Earth Bulls became alert at this moment. This meant that the black snake had already eaten its prey and was preparing for its next hunt. Chapter 56. Lin Yuan, who was already on the surface of the water, saw the actions of the two sides and extinguished any thoughts of taking advantage of the situation. He opened the attribute panel and added a bunch of points. After all, there were still monsters that would die in his hands, and he had already accumulated 7 points. If he exceeded the current limit of 8 points, it would be a huge loss. Host, Lin Yuan status, Big Black Snake, Evolvable, Realm, 8 out of 10 Talent, 1. Identify the enemy's location based on smell, unable to evolve, 2. Create an accurate image of a 500-meter radius based on smell, 0/100, 3. Water/ice control, 0 out of 100, speed, 14 defense, 13 attack, 14 assignable points, 0 martial arts, golden body secrets, 12 out of 40, skills, 1. Death coil, 1 of 300, 2. Poison enhancement, 1 out of 100, 3. Tail strike, 14 out of 100, item, light feather random system template X1. Lin Yuan was not in a hurry to increase the proficiency. After all, yesterday's experience had taught him a lesson. No matter what, he had to ensure that he had a chance to level up. At a critical moment, this could save his life. After adding the attribute points, Lin Yuan raised his eyes and began to size up the white wolves and barbarian earth bulls that were confronting each other. He was very clear that whether it was the barbarian earth bulls or the white wolves, they had regarded his sudden appearance as the biggest change in this hunt. Lin Yuan even suspected that if it were not for the blood feud between the two sides, they would have joined hands to deal with a lone predator like him first. Moo! The leading barbarian earth bull roared at the sky and glared fiercely at the white wolves. Then, it led the herd and slowly retreated towards the forest. You want to leave? Have you asked for my permission? Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils focused. He immediately communicated with the white wolf leader with his mind. Let's work together and kill these barbarian earth bulls. You can take 6 of their corpses and I'll take the rest. The white wolf leader looked at Lin Yuan with a little more awe. After all, only a great demon of the wisdom state had the ability to communicate with the demon beasts of other races with his mind. Okay. Without much hesitation, the leader of the white wolves immediately agreed. Although there were only 6 white wolves gathered here, they were only in charge of hunting in a wolf pack. The 2 barbarian earth bulls were only enough to fill their stomachs. There were still she-wolves and pups in the pack that needed to be fed. It was extremely unwilling to let these barbarian earth bulls leave just like that. After receiving the white wolf chief's affirmation, Lin Yuan's thick snake body suddenly twisted in the lake, and a large amount of lake water was splashed out. While the water splashed out, Lin Yuan activated his innate ability without hesitation and turned them into ice walls, blocking the barbarian earth bull's path of retreat. Seeing that Lin Yuan had made a move, the white wolf leader did not intend to slack off. After all, it was a promise between demonic beasts. Even if it was just a verbal promise, both parties would honor it with their names. Suddenly, snow began to flutter between heaven and earth. Countless wind and frost wrapped together and turned into sharp blades that sliced towards the barbarian earth bulls. The other party was obviously not a fool. When they saw this scene, they knew that the black snake and the white wolf had joined hands. The remaining 8 barbarian earth bulls stomped their feet on the ground at the same time, and a yellow shockwave collided with the wind and frost released by the white wolves. The innate abilities of the 2 groups of demonic beasts intertwined with each other. Lin Yuan suddenly leaped out of the water, and his 40-meter-long snake body almost covered the sky as he fiercely landed on the barbarian earth bulls. The barbarian earth bull's leader maintained its posture of stomping its feet to summon the yellow shockwave. At the same time, it tilted its head and adjusted its horns, as if it was waiting for Lin Yuan to crash into it. Golden body secrets. Tail strike. Lin Yuan seemed to have adjusted his posture as soon as the barbarian earth bull's leader reacted. His dark golden snake tail was like a steel whip as it ruthlessly whipped the barbarian earth bull's head. Moo! The barbarian earth bull's leader cried out in pain as it was directly sent flying by Lin Yuan's snake tail. The bull's head was badly mutilated, and even half of its horns were smashed by Lin Yuan. The barbarian Earth Bull's leader was stunned. Not to mention that Lin Yuan was only an 8th level demonic beast. Even among 9th level demonic beasts, it was rare to find an existence that could match its strength. However, Lin Yuan's snake tail directly sent the barbarian Earth Bull flying for 3 meters. Lin Yuan himself did indeed land lightly on the ground, as if he was not affected at all. Moo! The other 7 barbarian Earth Bulls also roared one after another, trying to help their leader. However, the 6 white wolves suddenly pounced on them and blocked the restless barbarian Earth Bulls. Once again, the battle that was interrupted by Lin Yuan just now began. Lin Yuan leisurely slithered to the barbarian Earth Bull's leader's side. His huge black snake body formed a U shape as he slowly raised his snake tail. The tip of his dark golden tail slowly pressed half an inch above the barbarian Earth Bull's head. Then, the snake tail suddenly sank down. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have killed the 9th level demonic beast, barbarian Earth Bull. You have received 3 attribute points. The system's voice rang out the moment the barbarian Earth Bull's leader died. Lin Yuan was also satisfied as he pulled out the snake tail from the barbarian Earth Bull's corpse. Regardless of whether a demonic beast of the same level was strong or weak, it could only bring him 1 attribute point. Even the withered wood python that almost took his life was the same. However, when he killed a demonic beast of a higher level, the strength of the demonic beast could change the attribute points Lin Yuan received. This mechanism seemed to be the system encouraging Lin Yuan to challenge a demonic beast that was stronger than him. Moreover, during the life and death battle yesterday, Lin Yuan couldn't remember how many times he used strangle against the withered wood python. However, he was certain that he didn't use strangle more than 90 times. However, his proficiency level reached 100 points and he completed a skill advancement. Could it be that the state of a battle between life and death could increase the effect of his skill training? While Lin Yuan was relaxing his mind, the white wolves and the barbarian Earth Bulls were fighting with their lives on the line. Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils swept across the battlefield. His snake mouth cracked open, revealing an ugly smile. Barbarian Earth Bulls? White wolves? Sorry, only children can choose. Adults want all of them. When the 2 groups of demonic beasts were both injured, it would be time for Lin Yuan to enter the battlefield and reap the harvest. Awoo! The white wolves turned their heads and howled. It seemed to be extremely dissatisfied with Lin Yuan's action of not helping them deal with the barbarian Earth Bulls after killing the barbarian Earth Bull's leader. When Lin Yuan saw that the situation was about to end and that most of the demonic beasts were on the verge of death, he twisted his snake body and slowly approached the battlefield. When he arrived beside the white wolves, Lin Yuan swung his dark golden snake tail and directly pierced through the white wolf's abdomen. Chapter 57. Hot blood slowly flowed down the snake's tail. Lin Yuan's blue and white vertical pupils flashed with a touch of coldness. There were too many high-level monsters in the Hengduan Mountains. Except for the rabbits and birds, which generally had low bloodlines, almost all of them were predators. This situation was not what Lin Yuan wanted to see. A forest of demonic beasts could not satisfy his expanding ambition, so he came to a bigger stage. In Lin Yuan's eyes, all demonic beasts were just mobile attribute points or energy that could be used to supply the body for consumption and cultivation. The black snake's tail gently swung, and the white wolf leader, whose eyes were full of anger, was heavily thrown out. It crashed into 2 big trees before it completely stopped breathing. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully killing a level 9 monster, Frost Wolf. The reward is 2 attribute points. The system notification sounded in his ears, and Lin Yuan shook his head with some disappointment. This Frost Wolf leader that commanded 5 Frost Wolves should only be a member of a large hunting group. Its strength was not enough for the system to reward Lin Yuan with additional attribute points. Ding! System notification, the host killed Snow Fang of the Winterwolf clan. The favorability of the Winterwolf clan decreased by 15 points, and the relationship between the factions decreased to indifferent. Lin Yuan was slightly startled. He had killed a lot of monsters, but this was the first time the system mentioned the relationship between factions. The Hengduan Mountains is not like the monster forest. The predators that can be active here, in addition to their own strength, each have their own clan behind them. For example, Batu is a member of the Mountain Shaking Apes Stone Shattering clan. Currently, the host's relationship with the Stone Shattering clan is mild. In the system's relationship model, there are 12 levels: mortal enemy, blood enemy, hostile, hatred, indifferent, neutral, mild, friendly, intimate, ally, and unswerving. Among them, the relationship between mortal enemies and undying will never change. At this point, they will either fight to the death or live and die together. Unless the host saves the other party's clan or does something evil that angers the heavens and the people, this level of relationship will never change. The system's cold electronic voice sounded, explaining this new relationship model. Lin Yuan was silent. This should be a template that came with the system itself. It was just that it wasn't activated in the monster forest. Other than Batu, this force template didn't have any meaning in the monster forest. Awoo. Moo. While Lin Yuan was distracted, the Frost Wolf and Barbarian Earth Bull attacked Lin Yuan simultaneously. However, Lin Yuan didn't dare to provoke a group of vigorous LV9 demon beasts, but Lin Yuan really didn't care about a group of exhausted or even wounded LV9 demon beasts. Tail attack. Poison Fang. Death Coil. Lin Yuan threw out the system's skills one after another. In just a short moment, the remaining 12 demonic beasts all had their bones broken by Lin Yuan. They lay on the ground whimpering. Even the 2 calves of the barbarian earth bulls weren't able to escape. Although they couldn't provide the same attribute points as a class 9 demonic beast, Lin Yuan had no reason to let them go. The phrase, "raising a tiger is inviting calamity," applied to any place. After slowly swallowing the leader of the barbarian earth bulls and the snowy Fang of the East Wolf clan, Lin Yuan felt that he was 80% full. After calming down, Lin Yuan started to use the energy from the demonic beast's flesh and blood to refine his body according to the circulation route of the golden body secrets. However, the results weren't satisfactory. The energy from the 3 class 9 demonic beasts only made his body 3 inches long. In terms of attribute points, he saved about 0.3 attribute points. This was a very laughable number. At least, that was what Lin Yuan thought. The 3 class 9 demonic beasts could provide Lin Yuan with at least 6 attribute points. If he put all of them into the proficiency of the golden body secrets, he could refine a 6-meter dark golden snake body. The difference was obvious. After slaughtering the remaining demonic beasts, Lin Yuan obtained a total of 21 attribute points. He kept one for his advancement in a life-and-death situation. The rest of the attribute points were all put into the golden body secrets by Lin Yuan. Host, Lin Yuan status, Big Black Snake, Evolvable, Realm, 8 out of 10 Talent, 1. Identify the enemy's location based on smell, cannot be advanced, 2. Form an accurate image of a 500-meter radius around the body based on smell, 0/100, 3. Water/ice control, 0 out of 100, speed, 14 defense, 13 attack, 14 assignable points, 1 martial arts, golden body secrets, 33, 3 out of 40, skills, 1. Death coil, 1 of 300, 2. Venom enhancement, 1 out of 100, 3. Tail strike, 14 out of 100, item, light feather chance to molt X1. Glancing at his current attributes, Lin Yuan nodded in satisfaction. The snake body had been refined to 33. 3 meters. Lin Yuan was most satisfied with the fact that his 7 inches, his biggest weakness, had been refined by the golden body secrets. His survivability had increased by more than 10 times. After pondering for a while, Lin Yuan's snake body froze. Huh? Where's my stuff?
Where the F**k did my big random system model go to? Where did the host think the relationship model came from? Remember, the system never gives out charity for no reason. After the host killed Snowfang of the Winterwolf clan, the condition to activate the relationship model was met, so the item was automatically used up. The system's voice was still cold, but it couldn't hold back its mocking tone. Lin Yuan choked for a moment. A proficiency model had given him enough benefits. Although it had greatly suppressed his advancement speed, with this proficiency model, not to mention being invincible in the same realm, even a level 9 monster would be vulnerable in front of the current Lin Yuan. That was why Lin Yuan had been keeping the chance to unlock the random system template. He didn't expect this Russian Matryoshka doll system to be so stubborn. However, the system's words gave Lin Yuan a new direction. If he knew which models existed in the system, he could keep an item to unlock the system template and change it to a specific one, just like how his own wishes could affect the system's skill selection. The system was generous, it didn't care if Lin Yuan could exploit the system's loopholes. Unlike in the games in his previous life, once a bug appeared, the system would immediately repair it. As long as Lin Yuan had the ability, the system would never stop him. Open the relationship model. Lin Yuan replied weakly. Although he didn't know if the item used to unlock the system template was a good thing or a bad thing, since it was already unlocked, he had to see what this new system template was. Anyway, it was one of the unlocked models. With the current power of the system, there might be some surprises. Relationship model, own faction, can be renamed leader, Lin Yuan, member, Batu, 100, Mountain Shaking Ape Clan. Gentle, Frostwolf Winterwolf Clan. Cold, Demon Slayer Iron Hand Squad, leader, Iron Hand, member. Hatred, Mountain Blocking Cities Lu Clan. Mortal enemy. Chapter 58. System, what does the 100 behind Bata mean? Lin Yuan coiled up his snake body and asked. He didn't mind the hostile relationship between Demon Slayer and the Lu family. It was an undeserved calamity. Judging from how the Lu family's old ancestor coveted Lin Yuan's flesh and blood, the two sides had an irreconcilable relationship. Even if the Lu family stopped now and didn't target Lin Yuan would still have to pay them back in the future. As for the Iron Hand Society of the Demon Slayer, although Lin Yuan only met the other party face to face, the other party was scared away by the door of the Gravel clan. Lin Yuan can only understand this hatred relationship as wealth moving people's hearts. Loyalty. Because it is a mission reward, Batu's loyalty has been raised to the maximum. However, host must remember the 2-year agreement between you and Batu. If host is unable to complete the mission after 2 years, not only will Batu attack host, the Stony Stone clan's relationship with host's faction will also drop to hostile. However, after host completes the mission, Batu's loyalty will be fixed at 100 and he will automatically become host's trusted aide. Moreover, host has given Batu a new lease of life, so your relationship with the Stony Stone clan will also improve. System is awesome. Lin Yuan once again sighed from the bottom of his heart. He originally thought that this new model was a trap, but he didn't expect it to be a godly skill. With this faction relationship model, Lin Yuan could check the loyalty of the members of his faction at any time. He didn't need to use time-consuming methods like probing and could directly see who was on his side and who was a traitor. Ding! Unknown energy detected. Target's energy is too strong. Host, please escape as soon as possible. Before Lin Yuan could ask any further questions, the system's notification sounded again. Lin Yuan's snake face was full of question marks. He had seen the power of the system before. Whether it was a demonic beast or a spiritual item, the system could scan them all. Even if the opponent was a strange item like the green leaf lotus, which could extend the lifespan of mortals and give them the opportunity to ascend to immortality, it couldn't escape the system's scan. What kind of existence could it be that the system couldn't scan and could only say that it was an unknown energy? Neither a demonic beast nor a spiritual item. How could there be such a miraculous object in this world? Roar!
Awu. Moo. All kinds of beast roars rose from all over the Hengduan Mountains. Lin Yuan's eyes narrowed slightly. He turned his head with a stunned expression and looked at the lake where he had been resting. A vast amount of energy was brewing under the water, as if it was going to burst out at any moment. In the face of such a terrifying energy that even shook the entire Hengduan Mountains, Lin Yuan's first reaction was not fear, but a sense of desire that rose from the depths of his heart. He wanted to pounce forward and swallow that thing into his stomach. Wait a minute. Lin Yuan was shocked. Why did this scene seem so familiar? F***ck. Lin Yuan subconsciously cursed. Then, he twisted his snake body and darted into the distance. The last time the cold stone grass matured, it was the same feeling. In a while, countless demonic beasts in the Hengduan Mountains might gather here. A stalk of cold stone grass that could allow any demonic beast below level 10 to advance by one level didn't evoke the desire in Lin Yuan's heart. Then, the thing that was born this time was definitely extraordinary. Perhaps, there might even be wisdom state demonic beasts appearing. Can't afford to offend, can't afford to offend. Lin Yuan, who had the system with him, actually didn't lack such things. As long as he had enough time to hunt those demonic beasts or experts among humans, sooner or later, he would become the top existence in this world. Only a fool would lose his life for a newly born spiritual item. Ding! Target scan completed. Discovered a newborn blood spirit. The system's electronic voice sounded again. Heaven and earth have spiritual energy. Beasts can become demonic beasts by absorbing spiritual energy from heaven and earth. Humans can become cultivators by absorbing spiritual energy from heaven and earth. However, spiritual energy from heaven and earth also has attributes. If it isn't absorbed for a long time, it can become a spirit. The host can refer to the elemental creatures in the fantasy novels of the previous world. Blood spirits are one of them. If it can go through 1,500 years and pass the three tribulations of wind, fire, and thunder, the elemental spirit can be promoted to a wandering immortal. I'm not listening, I'm not listening. Lin Yuan frantically shook his snake head and fled into the distance. No matter what good stuff it was, he had to be alive to take it. He wasn't a fool to snatch something from a wisdom state demonic beast. Boom! The surface of the lake behind him exploded, and a red humanoid doll broke out of the water. It looked like a 3-year-old baby, and it was wearing a red dudu. However, its eyes were not black and white. Instead, there were two blood-red dots in the darkness, similar to the eyes of the Kaku in the anime of his previous life. Ding! Congratulations to the host for approaching the blood spirit. Triggered mission, Heaven's Gift. Name, Heaven's Gift. Description: when the elemental spirit is born, it is not guarded at all. Any creature can easily swallow and refine it. As a snake favored by fate, you are fortunate enough to witness the birth of an elemental spirit. How can you easily give up such a heavenly gift? Host, please defeat those demonic beasts that come to fight for the elemental spirit. Protect the blood spirit until it matures, then swallow and refine it. Reward, randomly receive a blood-related innate ability. Punishment, Golden Body Secrets proficiency is reset to 0. It's here. It's here again. And it's this F***king familiar smell. And it's this kind of F***king mission. Lin Yuan was flustered and exasperated. He weakly let out a sorrowful cry. His huge snake body twisted crazily, but it was as if there was an invisible barrier in front of him. No matter what, he couldn't leave this area. And the owner of those demonic beasts' roars was getting closer and closer to this area. Ding! The blood spirit is completely born in 1 hour. Host, please work hard. This time, the system's notification wasn't the cold electronic voice. It was as if it had changed to a different voice package. It had turned into a charming voice. F***ck your grandpa. Lin Yuan was still flustered and exasperated. He let out a helpless rage. The last time he encountered the frost stone grass, he almost lost his life. That was because he didn't have enough experience. He didn't know that the system on him was the Russian Matryoshka doll system. It was completely a scam. Based on the previous lesson, when Lin Yuan heard the system's notification, he had already planned to leave. But he didn't expect the system to be so shameless and lock him in this area. Level 7, Level 8, Level 9, all kinds of demonic beasts appeared in Lin Yuan's line of sight. But most of them were very restrained. When they were 500 meters away from the lake, these demonic beasts stopped in their tracks. It was as if they were waiting for the blood spirit to be completely born. A few low-level demonic beasts couldn't hold back the desire in their hearts. But in an instant, they were directly torn to pieces by the demonic beasts that were eyeing them covetously. Chapter 59. In a short span of 5 minutes. The originally tranquil and peaceful lake was completely soaked in blood, and the air was filled with the pungent smell of blood. Purge. Yes, purge. After the demonic beasts attracted by the blood spirit arrived, they immediately attacked the demonic beasts around Lin Yuan. Some level 7 and level 8 demonic beasts did not have any ability to resist and were directly torn to pieces. There were even a few level 9 demonic beasts that attacked Lin Yuan, only to have their bones crushed by Lin Yuan's death entanglement. At this point, those demonic beasts did not continue to provoke Lin Yuan. Natural selection, the most basic law of the jungle, was displayed incisively and vividly at this moment. The stories of the weak protagonists in the novels of his previous life would probably only work in a civilized society where the major forces had scruples. But in the bloody jungle, being weak was the original sin. The weak did not even have the chance to watch others compete for opportunities, let alone compete for opportunities. What the F***ck is that, Lin Yuan felt something in his heart and turned his head. A jiao snake with a body length of nearly 100 meters and 2 horns on its head was entrenched not far from him. The pressure from the bloodline immediately made Lin Yuan tremble slightly. Even the surrounding snake-type monsters began to withdraw one after another under the suppression of the bloodline power. It seemed that they did not dare to provoke this jiao snake. Wisdom state. Lin Yuan's heart sank. There was no dragon aura on the other party, and it was even inferior to the dove snake bone that Lin Yuan had faced before. That was why Lin Yuan dared to call it a flood serpent instead of a flood dragon. But looking at the appearance of this flood serpent, it was not too far away from growing 4 legs and completely transforming into a flood dragon. It was also because of the pressure from the dove snake bone that Lin Yuan was able to resist the bloodline suppression and did not retreat like the other snake-type demonic beasts. A doubtful thought sounded in Lin Yuan's mind. Lin Yuan turned his head and happened to see the pair of bronze vertical pupils of the flood serpent staring straight at him, as if wondering why he ignored the bloodline suppression. Look at your grandfather. Idiot. Lin Yuan, who had been tricked by the system, was in an extremely bad mood and directly scolded. In any case, the system's mission was here. Not to mention a great demon of the wisdom state, even a more terrifying existence was Lin Yuan's competitor. Sooner or later, he would have to shed all pretense of cordiality, so why should he be polite? As for offending the other party, sorry. As long as the system did not let Lin Yuan leave this place, they would be mortal enemies. I'll tear you apart. The serpent didn't expect a grade 8 demonic beast to be able to communicate with it telepathically, not to mention that it was Zhu En's champion. Scram! A roar came from behind Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan turned the snake's head and saw an old acquaintance. Mountain ape, Mendu. After being roared at by Mendu, the flood serpent was obviously very afraid and immediately shifted its gaze away from Lin Yuan. The mountain ape of the Stone Shatter clan was the absolute overlord of this area. Not to mention its terrifying strength that could shatter mountains and shatter the earth, just its innate ability to turn the mountain and stone elements into armor was enough to make any demonic beast afraid. Previously, the level 7 Bata had forced Lin Yuan to flee in all directions. In the end, he had to use ice to seal the Batu and barely subdue it. With such intelligence, strength, and a useful innate ability, such a demonic beast was rare. This flood serpent was obviously not one of them. Mendu strode to Lin Yuan's side and immediately frowned and asked, "Why are you here?" Although he was surprised by Lin Yuan's breakthrough speed, Mendu was still not optimistic about Lin Yuan's ability to compete for the blood spirit. A level 8 demonic beast wanted to snatch something from a great demon of the wisdom state. Even in his dreams, he had to have a sense of propriety. However, a gentle relationship was more useful than Lin Yuan imagined. At least, Mendu was willing to offend a flood serpent and protect Lin Yuan at this time. "If I say that I had no choice but to obtain the blood spirit, would you believe me?" Lin Yuan replied somewhat helplessly while spitting out the snake's forked tongue. Mendu was startled for a moment, then suddenly laughed and said, "I believe you. If you weren't forced, you wouldn't have participated in this almost certain death battle with the strength of a level 8 demonic beast. When you took care of that kid Batu, we saw the whole process. With your scheming mind, you wouldn't casually make enemies for yourself." Lin Yuan was silent. He was indeed a bit impulsive. If they fought later and that flood serpent targeted him, it would be really troublesome. However, Lin Yuan didn't regret it. He was just helpless that he wasn't strong enough. Otherwise, before that flood serpent got angry, he would have turned that flood serpent into attribute points just by looking at it. "Little black snake, let me ask you. Do you really have the confidence to cure that kid Batu?" Mendo crossed his arms in front of his chest and asked meaningfully. "Yes." Lin Yuan nodded his head and replied very honestly. "Okay, then I'll help you. Although I can't directly help you obtain the blood spirit, I can guarantee that after you obtain it, you will be able to leave this place safely. Of course, the prerequisite is that you can snatch the blood spirit from a group of level 9 demonic beasts. These wisdom state demonic beasts won't fight for it personally. Even if they obtain the blood spirit, they won't be able to refine it immediately. Therefore, they will wait for the demonic beast that obtained the blood spirit to return to the shore before they fight for it. With my protection, even if they fight with their lives on the line, they won't be able to do anything to you." Contrary to Lin Yuan's expectations, Mendu directly expressed his goodwill. This time, it was Lin Yuan who was startled. His relationship with the mountain-shaking ape clan was only mild, not even friendly. Even if the mountain-shaking ape clan was the overlord of this generation, they couldn't possibly offend all the wisdom state demonic beasts just because of this little bit of goodwill, could they? There was definitely something fishy going on. "Kid, you don't seem like a demonic beast at all. You seem more like a cunning and suspicious human. However, that kid Batu has steeled his heart to recognize you as his boss. I can also tell you that that kid is related to a huge inheritance of my stone-shattering tribe. Therefore, he is extremely important to us. Even if our foundation is damaged, we won't give up on him. If you can really cure that kid Batu, then not only will you be indebted to him, you will also be indebted to my stone-shattering tribe. Last time, I helped you drive away demon-subduing master, so you owe me once. This time, you owe me once again. Now, do you understand what will happen to you if you can't cure Batu?" Mendu was not only intelligent, but also had the forthright personality of a mountain-shaking ape. When Lin Yuan became suspicious, he didn't hesitate to throw out the secret of Batu. Although Lin Yuan didn't completely believe him, he was somewhat relieved by Mendu's goodwill. Batu might really be related to a certain inheritance of the stone-shattering tribe, and might even be the future king of the stone-shattering tribe. Otherwise, the mission reward wouldn't involve the entire stone-shattering tribe. Chapter 60. Ding! The Russian nesting doll system issued a timely notification. Without waiting for Lin Yuan to react, the Class 9 demonic beasts that had been restraining themselves for a long time had already charged at Blood Spirit. In an instant, the roars of tigers and dragons filled the air. All kinds of innate abilities filled the air. These Class 9 demonic beasts, which had a foothold in the Hengduan mountain range, were as fragile as paper. With each passing breath, more than 10 Class 9 demonic beasts would die. Looking at the bloody battlefield in front of him, Ting Qingshan couldn't help but sigh. Lin Yuan gave up the idea of going up and stabbing him. Sacrificing his life for a few attribute points wasn't worth it. His golden body secrets was only at the first layer. Its defense was indeed terrifying, but it might not be able to withstand the concentrated attacks of so many Class 9 demonic beasts. No matter how strong his defense was, there was a limit to how much he could withstand. Roar! Mendu suddenly roared. He raised his head to look at the sky and said coldly, "Humans are not allowed to enter the Hengduan mountain range. Don't say you don't know the rules. If you don't leave in 3 breaths, then stay here." As Mendu spoke, the other Wisdom Realm demonic beasts raised their heads and stared at the sky with unfriendly gazes. Lin Yuan could even see that the muscles of these demonic beasts had already tensed up, as though they were ready to enter battle mode at any moment. Lin Yuan only glanced at them for a moment before retracting his gaze. Twisting his serpent body, he crushed the Class 9 demonic beast's flesh and slowly approached Blood Spirit in the center of the lake. If the sky fell, there would be someone tall to hold it up. These demon slayers dared to cross the demonic beast forest and enter the Hengduan mountain range. Moreover, they came to this place where so many demonic beasts gathered. It would be too far-fetched to say that they were just passing by. Presumably, these demon slayers were here for Blood Spirit. Whoosh! The moment he came to his senses, Lin Yuan suddenly swayed to the left. The ground in front of him exploded, and a yellowish serpent head drilled out of the ground. It probably wanted to catch Lin Yuan off guard. However, Lin Yuan's innate ability to sense smell was there. Even though there were many demonic beasts here and the system's notifications kept ringing, there were still no demonic beasts within 500 meters of him that could launch a surprise attack. Poisonous snake. Lin Yuan glanced at the yellow snake head, which was a Class 9 monster beast. Seeing that the other party's head was triangular and less than a third of his own head, he immediately guessed the other party's plan. Without waiting for the yellow snake's head to shrink back, Lin Yuan's slightly swaying body twisted once more. He opened his bloody mouth and bit down on the yellow snake's head. His 2 sharp fangs directly pierced through the snake's head, and colorless and odorless poison slowly poured into the snake's body. Hiss! Hiss! The yellow snake's head wriggled in Lin Yuan's bloody mouth, letting out a painful hiss, as if it wanted to break free from Lin Yuan's control. Come out! Lin Yuan didn't care how much pain the other party was in. After injecting the poison, he directly bit the other party's head and pulled out a 20-meter-long snake from the ground, throwing it behind him. At the same time, a giant bear with shiny black fur the size of a small hill suddenly rushed over from Lin Yuan's left side. Its heavy body was like a chariot crashing into Lin Yuan. Tail strike. The skill was instantly activated, but under the watchful eyes of everyone, Lin Yuan didn't reveal his trump card, Golden Body Burst. Pang! Following a muffled sound, the mountain-like black bear was stopped by Lin Yuan's attack. It staggered back a few steps before stabilizing its body. Blood flowed down from the wound on its head, wetting its shiny black fur, dyeing it red and then tangling together. Lin Yuan's snake tail was also torn open. Large amounts of blood squeezed out from the torn muscles, instantly dyeing the snake tail a blood-red color. Comparing strength with a bear was still a bit too much. Damn, so many people have their eyes on me. Lin Yuan spat out the snake's forked tongue. Its pitch-black snake face had no expression. If it was a human, Lin Yuan's face would be as black as the bottom of a pot. But very quickly, Lin Yuan figured out the crux of the matter. Although a 9th-grade monster's intelligence wasn't as high as a Wisdom Realm monster, a teenager still had some intelligence. Lin Yuan's strength was indeed very strong, but he was at most an 8th-grade monster. So, before the fight for the Blood Spirit, they had to get rid of him. In addition to the black bear and the poisonous snake's cooperation, they successfully injured Lin Yuan. So, Some of the monsters that were watching suddenly had ideas. Lin Yuan, who had already expected this, let out a long sigh. If the Russian Matryoshka system hadn't tricked him, he wouldn't have been the hunter hiding in the dark. Why would he have to fight a group of 9th-grade monsters to the death here? The Jiao snake wriggled its body to Mendo's side. Its bronze eyes flashed with a hint of mockery. It lowered its voice and said, "Mendo, everyone says that your intelligence is comparable to that old fox in the south. Now, it seems that you're just a so-so. That little friend of yours doesn't even have the right to go near the lake. I want to eat snake soup today, so you'd better stay away from me." Mendo's eyes flashed with a hint of viciousness as he replied fiercely. It was very irritated now. The humans that barged into the Hengduan mountain range hadn't left yet. They were still watching from afar. The Wisdom Realm monsters all had their own ulterior motives. Currently, they were still in a state of unity. But if they plucked the blood spirit, their attacks on their own kind wouldn't be any weaker than the humans. In addition, Lin Yuan was clearly targeted by the other monsters. It would be strange if it was in a good mood. Come. Come if you're not afraid of death. Lin Yuan coiled up his thick snake body. His blue and white eyes stared straight ahead. The snake kept flicking its tongue. The ruthlessness of a predator flowed through his body. Despite being stared at by so many 9th-grade monsters, Lin Yuan's eyes didn't have the slightest hint of panic. On the contrary, his eyes were filled with an endless desire to fight. The stage of the top predators, even if it was only the lowest stage, would definitely have a place for him. In this battle, he wanted to kill all these 9th-grade monsters. He wanted all the 9th-grade monsters in this area to run away with their tails between their legs when they saw him. A cold murderous aura was released from Lin Yuan's body. It slowly enveloped the surrounding 9th-grade monsters that were eyeing him covetously. In his previous life, he thought that murderous aura was just an artistic thing. But in this life, after Lin Yuan's hands were stained with the blood of countless people, something similar to murderous aura had indeed appeared on his body. Ordinary weaklings would immediately feel their limbs turn cold and their scalp numb when they were stared at by him like this. Even among these 9th-grade monsters, many of them revealed a look of fear. They subconsciously took a few steps back and didn't dare to look directly at Lin Yuan's murderous aura. After all, most of them were born as 9th-grade monsters' children. Under the care of their parents, they grew much faster than low-grade monsters. Facing Lin Yuan's murderous existence, they would tremble at a glance. Chapter 61. Trash. Lin Yuan sneered inwardly when he saw that the group of grade 9 demonic beasts were frightened by him. A group of grade 9 demonic beasts added together was not as stressful as a single Batu. If it weren't for the fact that he was afraid of these guys swarming him, Lin Yuan would have taken the initiative to attack. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully killing the grade 9 demonic beast, Yellow Crag Snake. You have gained 2 attribute points. Almost at the same time the system beeped, more than half of Lin Yuan's body turned from black to dark gold. Then, he leaped into the air and pounced toward the black bear that had injured him. Tail strike. The skill was released and his body adjusted. Lin Yuan dodged the black bear's attack with a strange posture. Death coil. The second skill was released. Lin Yuan's 40-meter-long snake body coiled around the black bear. In the blink of an eye, Lin Yuan's snake body closed and wriggled, bursting with terrifying power. Even the grade 9 demonic beast, the black bear couldn't break free. Its bones cracked as if they would be crushed by Lin Yuan at any time. Hiss. A human airborne realm demon slayer who was watching the battle gasped as a glint flashed in his eyes. Half of this black snake's body had turned into a dark golden color. With just one coil, it had instantly killed a 9th-grade demonic beast. In addition to the yellow rock snake that had died earlier, the black snake had become serious. With the strength of a 8th-grade demonic beast, it had instantly killed 2 9th-grade demonic beasts. An ancient remnant. It must be an ancient remnant. Get ready. If necessary, we'll intervene. This black snake is probably an ancient species. We'll take it and Shui Ling with us. Very soon, he called out to his companions, his eyes filled with greed that could not be erased. Why did humans hunt demonic beasts? At first, it was for survival. Later, it was to fight for territory. Now, it was for profit. When ordinary people ate the flesh of demonic beasts, they would be able to transform it into their own spiritual essence and embark on the path of cultivation. Even in Zhongshan City, which was close to the Hengduan mountain range, the flesh of demonic beasts was very valuable. In particular, the flesh of high-level demonic beasts was even more priceless. If one hunted a wisdom realm demonic beast, aside from its flesh, one could also pluck its monster core. That was something that even Heaven's Strength realm experts would be moved. If one consumed a monster core condensed from a demonic beast with a precious bloodline, that cultivator would be able to surpass the peak of the airborne realm that held countless heroes back and stepped into the Heaven's Strength realm. Heaven's Strength realm experts. Even the monarchs of the 7 dynasties had to be courteous to a Heaven realm cultivator when they met one. Rumor had it that the bloodline of ancient remnant beasts was so pure that they did not fear the bloodline pressure of high-ranking demonic beasts. Furthermore, they had combat strength that far exceeded those of the same level. If such an existence were to condense a monster core, even Demon Slayer Master, who was at the peak of the airborne realm, would have to avoid it. However, if one were to consume such a monster core, it was possible for one to reach a higher realm, let alone the Heaven's Strength realm. That was also the reason why ancient remnant beasts were hunted to extinction despite being extremely powerful. It was impossible to find ancient remnant beasts unless one was in a remote place. He could clearly see that the black serpent was able to ignore the suppression of the flood serpent's bloodline. Furthermore, the level 9 demonic beasts were unable to pose a threat to the black serpent before a certain number of them gathered. The black serpent had perfectly matched the characteristics of every ancient remnant beast. Ding! The system has detected malice from Demon Slayer Master. The relationship between the forces has been updated. The current relationship between the host and the city lord of Zhongshan City has decreased by 100 points. The host is now a mortal enemy. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully killing a level 9 demonic beast, Mountain Bear. 2 attribute points have been awarded. 2 system notifications rang out one after another. A huge question mark immediately appeared on Lin Yuan's head. What did he do this time? How did he become mortal enemies with the city lord of Zhongshan City after killing 2 level 9 demonic beasts? Could it be that these 2 demonic beasts were reared by the city lord? Before he could think about it, Lin Yuan's body had already moved. His most primitive hunting instinct made him shoot out once again. The dark gold snake head violently crashed into the waist of a tiger-type demonic beast. Roar! The tiger-type demonic beast let out a wail. Almost all large carnivorous beasts had a common problem. They had a copper head, an iron tail, and a tofu waist. Especially near the abdomen, it was a fatal weak point. It was as important as Lin Yuan's 7 inches. Lin Yuan never thought that he would be able to knock a level 9 ferocious tiger to the ground with a fire arrowhead mallet. However, Lin Yuan did not hesitate at all. He quickly lowered his head and bit down on the ferocious tiger's white belly. He poured all the poison in the poison sac into the tiger's body and used his snake tail to wrap around the ferocious tiger's head. Although the ferocious tiger could still struggle on the ground, it still died in Lin Yuan's hands under the double pressure of suffocation and poison. It did not even have the chance to attack. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully killing a level 9 demonic beast, multicolored tiger. 3 attribute points have been awarded. Here it comes. Lin Yuan's mind shook. He immediately communicated with the system and directly transferred the attribute points from the 3 level 9 demonic beasts into the golden body secrets. In the blink of an eye, Lin Yuan's golden body secrets had reached a perfect level. The 40-meter-long snake body had completely turned into a dark gold color. Its defensive power had increased by more than 10 times. Most importantly, when Lin Yuan used the golden body secrets, there was no weakness on his body at all. The remaining level 9 demonic beasts lowered their heads and slowly left the battlefield. They did not dare to continue to surround Lin Yuan. In the face of such a terrifying existence, they had lost the courage to fight. Naturally, they followed their instincts and stayed away from Lin Yuan. They could not just stand there and watch Lin Yuan kill them one by one, could they? It seems that my taste is not bad. Men Du replied lightly. His mocking gaze fell on the flood dragon snake again. He began to think about whether he should eat snake soup today. A bunch of trash. The flood dragon snake snorted coldly. It turned its head and moved to one side, no longer communicating with Men Du. Although it did not understand why the black snake changed color, it could feel that the black snake was definitely much stronger after changing color. It should be the black snake's natural ability. It looked very difficult to deal with. At the same time, it could not understand why the black snake broke through the dozens of level 9 demonic beasts gathered together without even a chance to attack. It even killed 3 of them. It could not think of any other adjectives other than trash. Chapter 62. Ding. The system has detected that host's golden body technique has reached small perfection. Would you like to advance to golden body technique? After the class 9 beasts had retreated, the system asked Lin Yuan a question. Logically speaking, the golden body technique had already been refined to a length of 40 meters. Before he advanced to the next level, there was no way he could improve this technique. Naturally, he wanted to advance to the next level. However, Lin Yuan was familiar with the way the Russian nesting doll system worked, so he was able to catch the hidden meaning in the system's words. Small perfection. Choice. He could advance to the next level even if he didn't cultivate the technique to small perfection. Then last time when he asked the system if he could use attribute points to upgrade the golden body technique, the system wouldn't have told him to be careful even in his dreams. 25 meters wouldn't do. 40 meters would do. If 40 meters was small perfection, then how long would it take to reach large perfection? 80 meters? 100 meters? Since the host has reached small perfection, you can choose whether to upgrade the golden body technique to the second level. The current golden body technique allows the host to negate 35% of the damage taken, which is 100 times the host's tolerance. As long as the opponent's attack does not exceed this limit, the golden body technique will not be broken. The second level of the golden body technique allows the host to negate 45% of the damage taken, which is 300 times the host's tolerance. When the host's body reaches Spirit Awakening Realm level 10, its length should be exactly 100 meters. If the host does not choose to evolve it, the host will never be able to advance to a higher realm. Thus, the limit of the first level of the golden body technique is 100 meters. Once the host reaches small perfection, the cultivation technique will automatically advance to the second level. As the worm in Lin Yuan's stomach, the system didn't even wait for Lin Yuan to ask before it spoke. Lin Yuan was silent for a moment. He felt that something was wrong. The system seemed to be messing with him, but it was giving him a chance to become stronger and more durable in a short period of time. The golden body secrets could negate 35% of the damage. His defense was 13 points. If the opponent wanted to break through the first layer of the golden body secrets, they would have to deal a total of 1,690 points of damage to shatter his golden body secrets and damage the body hidden underneath. However, this was obviously just data. After all, even if Lin Yuan used golden body secrets, he would not be able to withstand more than 200 points of attack. It was just like those warriors who wore impenetrable armor and could still be swung to death by a hammer. However, Lin Yuan could be sure that demon beasts below the level of wisdom would not be able to easily kill him. System, if I choose to advance now, what will happen? Lin Yuan hesitated for a moment before asking. He was a little flustered. What if the system felt guilty because it had cheated him too many times and wanted to help him out? If he asked this question, would he miss this opportunity? Shocked by Lin Yuan's question, the system obviously did not react. After a while, the system slowly said, "Very good." It seems that after this period of training, the host has understood that there is no such thing as a free lunch in the world. If you advance to the golden body secrets, now, it will indeed give the host a certain boost in the short term. However, in the long term, this transaction is quite a loss. Every point of proficiency in the second layer of the golden body secrets requires the host to invest 10 attribute points to advance. If the host directly advances after achieving small perfection, then an additional attribute point will be required to upgrade the golden body secrets. I knew you were King Scammer. Lin Yuan was flustered and exasperated once again. To think that his conscience hurt for a moment, thinking that the system wanted to help him out. When he became a level 10 demonic beast, his body length would increase to 100 meters. He would have to pay 11 attribute points for every meter of his snake body that was 60 meters long. Otherwise, he would have to cultivate slowly by himself. Who would be able to withstand that? It seems that the host will not choose to advance now. The system's voice suddenly became meaningful. I won't even if you beat me to death. Give up, King Scammer. Lin Yuan rolled his eyes and decided to ignore the system. He wriggled his snake body and approached the blood spirit. Regardless of whether he advanced or not, obtaining the blood spirit was the most important thing now. If he did not obtain the blood spirit, then all the attribute points invested in the golden body secrets would be wasted. Let's wait and see. The system's voice was still meaningful, as if it had predicted something. Lin Yuan wriggled his dark golden snake body at a steady speed. After all, the demon beasts were afraid of disturbing the blood spirit, so they were all killing on the shore. There was no one who dared to provoke the crowd and choose to enter the water to obtain the blood spirit at this time. After killing 3 level 9 demon beasts in a row, his body was surrounded by murderous aura. Lin Yuan, a level 8 demon among the level 9 demon beasts, had become a well-known existence. Common level 9 demon beasts dared not block Lin Yuan's path. Those with a certain level of strength did not want to offend Lin Yuan for the time being. After all, they still had to deal with other demon beasts. They were natives of the Hengduan Mountains. Although the place was not as complicated as human society, the relationship between different groups and clans was still very tense. Only Lin Yuan, who came out of nowhere, had not offended any demon beasts other than the Jiao snake. Do it! The airborne realm demon slayer master, who was watching the battle, suddenly raised his hand and waved in front of him. Boom! 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 The area where the wisdom realm demon beast was instantly covered by artillery fire. Even though Lin Yuan was still some distance away, he felt the ground tremble. What is going on? The 2nd Battalion commander brought his Italian artillery here. Lin Yuan was completely dumbfounded. The humans of this world were very much like the cultivation civilizations in novels. They still used cold weapons, had dynasties, and had sections. However, Lin Yuan never expected that the humans of this world would have even upgraded the technology tree. While this level of bombardment was not comparable to modern warfare on Earth in his past life, it was definitely not inferior to the artillery of the era of foreign guns and cannons. Roar! 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 The Wisdom Realm demon beasts, who were attacked by the Demon Slayer Master, roared one after another. One by one, they began to use their innate abilities to fight back against the humans. There were also demon beasts with tough physical bodies like the Mendu, who used elemental powers to protect themselves as they charged at the humans. After reaching the Wisdom Realm, their innate abilities were no longer limited to things like fireballs, wind blades, and water pillars. These demon beasts' use of elemental powers had obviously reached a higher level. The Demon Slayer Master is making his move. I need to hurry up. Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils flashed with a cold light, and the speed at which he moved increased dramatically. Chapter 63. After a round of suppressive cannon fire ended, some of the monsters with strong physical bodies had already broken through to the front of the Demon Slayer's cannon formation. They brandished weapons such as rocks, trees, and elemental condensed weapons. They looked very imposing, but all of them were blocked outside the cannon formation. Those burly warriors in heavy armor held a tower shield that was nearly 2 meters in height in their left hand, and a thick-backed machete similar to the golden dragon saber in their other hand. Every 5 of them formed a battle formation, blocking those wisdom enlightenment great beasts that were charging in front of them from the cannon formation. The corner of Lin Yuan's eyes twitched slightly. Although he didn't know how many kilograms of heavy armor those humans were wearing, judging from the strength and speed of their movements, it was as if the heavy armor they were wearing was weightless. The cannon fire was still rumbling, suppressing most of the Wisdom Realm monsters. The battle formation of the heavy armored warriors was also quite impressive. 5 airborne realm demon slayers might not be able to deal with one Wisdom Realm monster, but these heavy armored warriors were doing it with ease. Once the Wisdom Realm Great Demon was about to kill any one of the 5, the other 4 would simultaneously thrust out their machetes and stab at the demon's vital points. In this way, even if the Wisdom Realm Great Demon managed to kill one of them and break the formation, he would still be severely injured and on the verge of death. So, this is the regular army of the humans? Lin Yuan's eyes narrowed slightly, and he was shocked once again. Professional demon slayers in the airborne realm could scare them away with just one gate. However, there were no less than 30 Wisdom Realm monsters present, and yet they were all suppressed by the warriors of the City Lord Office of Mountain Blocking City. They even seemed to be powerless when they fought back. Following the summons of some Wisdom Realm demons, most of the Class 9 demonic beasts stopped killing each other and gave up on plucking the blood spirits. After all, demonic beasts only killed each other for a better chance of survival. However, when humans attacked, they would never leave a way out for demonic beasts. Of course, Lin Yuan was not among the monsters that returned. In his eyes, there was only the mature blood spirit. A blood-related innate skill was not very attractive to Lin Yuan, but the golden body secret art was reset to 0, which almost took away half of Lin Yuan's life. Without this life-saving skill, Lin Yuan would be completely removed from the ranks of predators, and any Class 9 monster beast could easily threaten his life. 500 meters. 300 meters. 100 meters. When Lin Yuan rushed to the lakeside, he realized that he wasn't the only one who didn't listen to the summons of the Wisdom Stage Great Demon. There were at least 7 other demonic beasts guarding the lakeside, vigilantly looking around. Among the 7 demonic beasts, except for a huge demonic beast similar to the chimpanzee in Lin Yuan's previous life, the rest of the demonic beasts had obviously not reached maturity. At most, they had just passed the infancy stage, and some of their characteristics had not been completely revealed. However, their strength had already reached level 9, or even the upper middle level of level 9 demonic beasts. It was very obvious that bloodline was something unavoidable for demonic beasts. Some demonic beasts were unable to reach level 9 in their entire lives, while some demonic beasts only needed to pass the infancy stage to become one of the top predators. The 6 demonic beasts near the lakeside were obviously the noble young masters of the demonic beast clan. At least in this area, they were one of the noble young masters. Lin Yuan was too lazy to play the staring game with them. He only roughly swept a glance at his competitors, and then plunged into the lake in front of him. As a demonic beast with the innate ability to control water, Lin Yuan instantly forgot about those terrifying existences on the lakeside. A feeling of strength gradually rose in his heart. When the 7 demonic beasts on the lakeside saw that the newcomer Lin Yuan did not follow the rules of the game, and directly jumped into the lake, they immediately roared and jumped into the water. However, no one noticed that the blood spirit in the center of the lake no longer had an ignorant look in his eyes. Instead, it was replaced by a cunning and cruel prey that had taken the bait. In an instant, the blood boy, who originally looked like a 3-year-old human child, directly transformed into an evil-looking young man in his 20s wearing a bright red robe. A pair of black and red eyes looked at the 8 demonic beasts that were approaching him, and the corners of his mouth curled into a satisfied smile. Danger! The 8 demonic beasts chased each other and formed a team. Lin Yuan, who was at the front, suddenly stopped in his tracks. A ruthless aura shrouded him in an instant. Suddenly, Lin Yuan even felt his entire body turn cold, and even the abundant energy in his body seemed to have completely left him. The source of all this was the blood-red-clothed young man who was barefoot on the lake. Ding! Detected a change in the blood spirit, suspected to be affected by the blood moon a while ago. Ding! System detected an abnormality, modifying, ding. Modification complete. The conditions for completing the mission, Heavenly Opportunity, have been changed. Name, Heavenly Opportunity. Description: the blood spirit has completely mutated, and the current blood spirit is not an existence that the host can contend with. However, the greater the danger, the greater the opportunity. Now, the host has 2 paths in front of him. Optional mission Route 1, if you don't accept a gift from heaven, you will be punished. Description: as the snake of fortune, you know very well what the opportunity before you means. As long as you can consume the mutated blood spirit, not only will you awaken a blood-related innate ability, you will also undergo an initial metamorphosis and become a truly fearless top predator. Completion reward: randomly obtain a talent related to blood, one of the status skills, tranquility. Punishment for failure, death. Optional mission Route 2, in the face of danger, survival is the priority. Description: as an existence that has been crawling in the forest for a period of time, you realize that no opportunity is more important than your own life. As long as you can survive, anything is possible. Therefore, at this critical juncture, you have chosen to leave this dangerous place. Completion reward: none. Punishment for failure, death. Lin Yuan felt a chill run down his spine. He stuck his head out to look at the blood-red-clothed young man who was approaching him step by step on the lake. Lin Yuan did not hesitate at all and immediately turned to fly towards the shore. The mutated blood spirit in front of him was definitely not an existence that he could deal with. In Lin Yuan's eyes, the first optional mission was like a joke. Even the system had automatically modified the mission. If he still wanted to fight the mutated blood spirit head-on, he would be a fool. However, when Lin Yuan flew towards the shore, the other 7 demonic beasts obviously did not realize the danger. Seeing that Lin Yuan had voluntarily given up fighting for the blood spirit, they ignored Lin Yuan and continued to fly towards the mutated blood spirit. Chapter 64. The first one to rush to the side of the mutant blood spirit was the level 9 demonic beast that looked like a chimpanzee. However, this demonic beast with bulging muscles and great strength had no resistance at all in front of the mutant blood spirit. Its pair of strong arms were as fragile as 2 chicken legs in front of the mutant blood spirit. Almost as soon as it stretched out its hand to grab the leg of the mutant blood spirit lowered its body at the same time, lifted the chimpanzee directly from the water, and bit its neck. Its white teeth were not inferior to divine weapons. With just a gentle bite, it easily tore the flesh of the chimpanzee. The level 9 demonic beast did not even last 3 seconds under the attack of the mutant blood spirit before it was directly sucked into a dried corpse. It was not until this moment that the other 6 level 9 demonic beasts apparently realized why Lin Yuan chose to escape. One after another, they let out mournful cries and scattered in all directions. At this time, if they were to line up like when they came, it would be like the Calabash brothers sending themselves to their deaths one by one. It would be better for them to scatter and see who the mutant blood spirit would chase after. If they were unlucky, they could only accept it. The mutant blood spirit casually threw away the dried corpse of the chimpanzee in its hand, causing a large splash of water. It stuck out its tongue and licked its lips, as if it had not had enough. The next moment, the mutant blood spirit began to rush in the direction of Lin Yuan. As it ran, its legs directly dragged out a series of shadows. The originally calm water surface was constantly rippled by its steps, and large splashes of water were raised behind it. Lin Yuan, who was about to reach the shore, was confused. That chilling feeling appeared all over his body again. Obviously, after the mutant blood spirit ate the chimpanzee, it had made him its next target. When chasing, it killed the one that ran the furthest first. Damn it! Lin Yuan cursed angrily and directly activated his talent. The lake water beneath the mutant blood spirit's feet instantly froze and turned into extremely hard ice. The ice directly wrapped around his legs. In the blink of an eye, the running mutant blood spirit had turned into an ice sculpture. Before Lin Yuan could heave a sigh of relief, the ice sculpture was instantly filled with cracks. Soon after, the ice sculpture shattered into pieces and the mutated blood spirit that had been controlled inside rushed out once again. Its pair of blood-red eyes were filled with a ruthless and furious look, as if it was infuriated that its food dared to fight back. You want to eat me? F***CKU. When Lin Yuan saw that his opponent's speed had increased instead of decreasing, he immediately became furious and cursed in his heart. The mutated blood spirit had the body of a normal human, but he had the body of a snake that was 40 meters long. No matter how fast he was, it was impossible for him to leave the mutated blood spirit's pursuit range in an instant. As such, if no one stopped the mutated blood spirit, it would catch up with him sooner or later. His talent ability was activated to the maximum efficiency. A thick icicle rose from the lake and pierced through the mutated blood spirit's chest without any hindrance. With such an injury, no matter if it was a human or a demonic beast, it would be impossible to survive. Although he did not know why this mutated blood spirit was so fragile, Lin Yuan was delighted. Suddenly, the pierced mutated blood spirit raised its head again. Its blood-red eyes were filled with ferocity as it stared fiercely at Lin Yuan, who had attacked it again. Its body suddenly exploded, turning into a ball of sticky blood. It then reformed into a human form and rushed toward Lin Yuan again. Physical immunity. Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils suddenly shrank. A thick icicle pierced through its chest. How could such an injury not hurt or itch? How could there be such an unreasonable thing in this world? Ding! Unknown energy has been detected in the mutated blood spirit's body. Swallowing it will be of great benefit to the host. The system's notification sounded as if it did not take the mutated blood spirit seriously. I'll swallow your grandpa. Lin Yuan cursed inwardly. He turned around and climbed up the river bank. His attacks were useless against the mutated blood spirit. Even if he continued to stay in the lake, it would only add 1 point to all his attributes. It would not be of any help in the battle against the blood spirit. Lin Yuan's movement speed was not slow after he came up to the shore. He steadily maintained the distance between him and the blood spirit. Target confirmed. Can be captured. The blood spirit has also chased after us. Can be captured. Hey, what a great harvest! Following the sound of several human voices, Lin Yuan suddenly heard a whooshing sound in his ears. Clang! 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 Sturdy large crossbow bolts were shot from the front. Their target was not Lin Yuan's snake body. Instead, these crossbow bolts were connected to a large net made of unknown material. In an instant, Lin Yuan was enveloped in the net. What did it mean when it rains, it pours? This was what it meant. Lin Yuan almost had a mental breakdown. Ever since he obtained the system, Lin Yuan had completed quite a number of missions. However, it was the first time that the system was forced to modify the mission by an unknown force. Lin Yuan did not know how difficult it was to deal with. Judging from the other party's ability to instantly kill a 9th-grade demonic beast, he was afraid that it was at least a 10th-grade demonic beast. It might even be a terrifying existence in the wisdom state. After all, for ordinary demonic beasts, every level up from the 8th, 9th, and 10th grades could be said to be a leap in growth. These humans from the city lord's mansion of Mountain Block City were obviously not satisfied with just capturing a single black snake. After they controlled Lin Yuan, they took the initiative to confront the pursuing mutated blood spirit. In the image of smell in his mind, when the mutated blood spirit saw that Lin Yuan was controlled by humans, there was no joy in its eyes. Instead, it was filled with anger. However, this time, its anger was completely directed at these humans. Obviously, this mutated blood spirit did not like its prey to resist it. However, at the same time, it did not like its prey to fall into the hands of others. The mutated blood spirit was extremely fast. It almost instantly came to Lin Yuan's side. It reached out to grab a thick crossbow arrow nailed to the ground and pulled it up with all its strength. However, this thick crossbow arrow was obviously heavier than what the mutated blood spirit had imagined. It did not succeed in pulling the arrow out of the ground. Roar! The mutated blood spirit let out a low roar. Its whole body was covered in blood and its strength suddenly increased by a lot. In the blink of an eye, the mutated blood spirit actually covered part of Lin Yuan's body and directly lifted the large net that was controlling him. The sound of something breaking through the air was heard again. Another large net flew over. Obviously, these humans intended to use the same trick to capture the mutated blood spirit. Lin Yuan sneered. These humans should be busy fighting with the wisdom state demonic beast and did not see the battle between him and the mutated blood spirit. That was why they used such a stupid method. Chapter 65. Just as expected. Just as Lin Yuan had expected, the mutant blood spirit's body exploded once again, turning into a ball of viscous blood. It penetrated through the net and reformed into a human body. A cruel smile appeared on its evil face as it ran towards the humans who had cast the net. Lin Yuan, who was not far away, suddenly felt a tremor in his snake body. In the olfactory imaging, there was obviously a large pool of blood under the net. This mutant blood spirit, it did not seem to be undefeatable. A cold glint flashed across Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils as he stared coldly at the mutant blood spirit that had crashed into the human battle formation. The law of conservation of energy was universal no matter which world it was in. Obviously, this mutant blood spirit was not immune to physical attacks. It could only use some means to turn its physical body into blood and then reassemble. It could use this to quickly escape from control and injuries. However, this method obviously came with a corresponding price. For example, one's own blood. It was hard to say how much blood the mutant blood spirit had in its body. Although it could absorb the blood of others to replenish itself, it was the same as how Lin Yuan gained attribute points from hunting creatures. Only creatures of similar strength could gain the greatest benefits. Otherwise, it would not have been so fixated on Lin Yuan. It was obvious that the level 9 chimpanzee could not satisfy its thirst for blood. As his thoughts raced, Lin Yuan calmed down. Since the other party was not invincible, it meant that the first task was not impossible. Greed was the deep-rooted bad habit of all living creatures. Lin Yuan was no exception. He was not a saint, but compared to some greedy people who valued wealth over their lives, Lin Yuan was more clear-headed. Previously, he felt that the mutant blood spirit was not something he could defeat, so he chose to escape. However, now that he had been targeted by the other party, there was no way to escape. If he fought with all his might, there was still a chance of winning. After all, the mutant blood spirit could transform into blood and reassemble. He still had 2 lives. After the fear in his heart was completely expelled, Lin Yuan also completely calmed down. He stared coldly at the temporary camp that the human side had set up. Those heavily armored warriors could use their battle formations to defend against the great demons of Wisdom Realm, but clearly, they could not defend against the mutated blood spirits. This was because the mutated blood spirits seemed to have no weaknesses. Whether it was the collision of 2 tower shields or the slashing of broadswords, there was almost no way to hurt them. As he watched the battle, Lin Yuan's eyes grew brighter and brighter. As the number of times the mutant blood spirit regenerated increased, its speed and strength were constantly weakening. Although the heavy armor warriors could not kill it, it could not easily kill them either. Its teeth could easily tear through the flesh of a Class 9 demon beast, but against a heavy armor that could withstand the attack of a Wisdom Realm Great Demon Beast, it clearly couldn't do much. For a moment, both sides were anxious. Peak of level 9. Or is he at level 10? Fortunately, it didn't exceed my limit. Lin Yuan didn't even blink. He just stared at the mutant blood spirit's movements. After observing for a while, Lin Yuan's figure leaped out like a ghost. His huge snake body rushed to the front of the human battle formation in an instant, allowing the broadswords to fall on his golden body. Tail attack. With a tricky tail swing, Lin Yuan directly hit the two heavy armor warriors in front of him, causing them to retreat continuously. Compared to the great demons of wisdom who had to protect their vitals, Lin Yuan, who was in the state of golden body release, was not something that these humans could easily break through and injure. Therefore, he did not have any scruples when he attacked. The five-man battle formation was broken in an instant. Lin Yuan's snake body directly came to the center of the battle formation. This was the cannon fire formation. The capture net that the other party had thrown out just now was also projected from here. Monster! Run! With Lin Yuan's entrance, these humans who were operating the cannons immediately let out a series of screams. They no longer dared to continue controlling the cannons to suppress the great demons of wisdom in front of them. Instead, they all held their heads and fled to the back. The heavy armor warriors who were fighting the great demons of wisdom in front of them were all in the airborne realm. This was because only then could they hold up their heavy armor and pose a threat to the great demons of wisdom. However, these cannoneers did not have such strict requirements for their cultivation level. Most of them were only at level 6 or 7. When faced with the terrifying existence that killed the level 9 monster in an instant, they did not even have the courage to resist. Lin Yuan did not chase after them. He just swung his snake tail and completely crushed these cannons that were similar to the red coat cannons. Heavy armor warriors of the airborne realm were not existences that he could kill. Lin Yuan also did not have to chase these low-level cannoneers to death. Why waste energy on something that did not benefit him? Roar! The blood spirit's low roar was heard again. Lin Yuan turned his head and saw the mutant blood spirit, which was surrounded by 5 heavy armor warriors, roaring at the sky. It was then wrapped in scarlet threads all over its body. While the 5 heavy armor warriors sensed danger, they obviously did not think that the mutant blood spirit could do any harm to them. They raised the tower shields in their hands at the same time, squeezing the mutant blood spirit in the middle and charging at the same time. Boom! The mutant blood spirit stared at Lin Yuan with a sinister smile on its face. The next moment, its body suddenly exploded. Thick pillars of blood shot out and hit the tower shields that were capable of withstanding the attacks of the great demons of wisdom, washing the shields into pieces. Immediately afterward, the heavy armor warriors, who had most of their bodies pressed against the tower shields, were also hit by the pillars of blood and were sent flying backward. Such damage was obviously not enough to directly kill the 5 airborne realm humans who were protected by heavy armor, but it was enough to make them fall hard to the ground, unable to get up for a long time. After completing the self-destruction, the body of the mutant blood spirit condensed again. However, this time, the mutant blood spirit's face looked a lot paler, but its eyes were very determined. It walked towards Lin Yuan step by step, seemingly wanting to suck the blood in Lin Yuan's body dry to replenish itself. Hiss hiss. Lin Yuan flicked its tongue and coiled its body, staring at the mutant blood spirit with its blue-white vertical eyes. At this moment, the mutant blood spirit was undoubtedly at its weakest, but Lin Yuan's condition was not reduced by much. Whoosh! The pitch-black snake body shot out. Before the mutant blood spirit could make a move, Lin Yuan had already made the first move. Death coil. Under the adjustment of the great power of the system, Lin Yuan's huge body was tightly wrapped around the body of the mutant blood spirit. Chapter 66. The mutant blood spirit and Lin Yuan's eyes clashed in midair, and the pungent smell of blood began to spread. The humans all around them moved away from the two monsters, but there was still some fear in their eyes. Such beings were not something they could fight. Even if they were to kill those two monsters, they would have to pay an extremely heavy price. Lin Yuan coiled his snake body in circles. His 40-meter-long snake body did not seem cumbersome at all, but his blue-white vertical eyes were somewhat cold. He was not so arrogant as to think that he was a match for humans in the airborne realm. Those heavy armored warriors were only armed with standard weapons issued by the city lord's office. If it were the demon slayers, who were more wealthy, they would have definitely been armed with weapons that were not inferior to the golden dragon saber. Against such beings, Lin Yuan's golden body might not have been able to withstand them. Even those heavy armored warriors who were not armed with divine weapons were still not people he could kill. The mutant blood spirit licked its lips and a bloodthirsty smile appeared on its face. At the next moment, Lin Yuan and the mutant blood spirit rushed at each other almost at the same time. When Lin Yuan wrapped the mutant blood spirit with death coil, the mutant blood spirit opened its mouth, revealing a mouthful of white fangs, and bit at Lin Yuan's golden body in a frenzy. Faced with such a frenzied attack, the area that was bitten by the mutant blood spirit also showed visible cracks. Lin Yuan was equally ruthless, and the speed of his body rotation was adjusted to the maximum. Every time the snake body rolled over the mutant blood spirit, the oppressive force was not inferior to the tank tracks of his previous life. The proficiency of death entanglement in the proficiency model jumped crazily. It was obvious that such a desperate battle was very beneficial for the growth of the skill. PFFTT. With a crisp sound, the mutant blood spirit was unable to withstand the pressure brought about by Lin Yuan's death coil. It exploded into a clump of viscous blood, flowing to a place about 3 meters away from Lin Yuan, and reformed into a human form. The hostility in its eyes dissipated significantly, and there was even a hint of shock. How could the body of this level 8 beast be so tough? Just a moment ago, he had bitten so crazily that even a 10th level monster beast would have a piece of flesh torn off. However, the dark golden snake in front of him had only been bitten to the point that its skin had cracked. Not even a drop of blood had been squeezed out. Tail attack. Before the mutant blood spirit could launch another attack, Lin Yuan's attack had already broken through the seal. The terrifying wind whistled as if it was going to tear the forest apart. The mutant blood spirit was indeed at the end of its tether. Although its skin was pale last time, it was still able to maintain its human form. But this time, its skin had become somewhat transparent, just like a ghost. No bones, no internal organs, which means no fatal injuries. Lin Yuan continued to attack while thinking quickly. If he wanted to defeat this mutant blood spirit, he would have to force it to explode its body continuously, making it weaker and weaker. However, in this way, Lin Yuan would not be able to complete the mission assigned by the system. This was because the only way to kill the mutant blood spirit was to make it explode continuously until it completely dissipated. However, in this way, Lin Yuan would not be able to devour it. The system's failure penalty was no joke. If it said it would die, it would definitely die. Could it be that, eating it alive? A bold idea suddenly sprouted in Lin Yuan's mind. However, Lin Yuan's eyes showed obvious hesitation. Although he had already adapted to his identity as a monster beast, devouring flesh and even eating humans did not have any psychological burden to him. However, this mutant blood spirit was obviously not to be trifled with. Lin Yuan even thought of the journey to the west that he had seen in his previous life. Many monsters had swallowed Sun Wukong into their stomachs, but because they were unable to digest Sun Wukong, their soft internal organs were beaten up and they could not wait to kneel down and call him daddy. If this mutant blood spirit was the same, it would enter Lin Yuan's body and devour his internal organs and blood before bursting out of his body. Then, Lin Yuan would be deader than dead. Chirp, chirp. The mutant blood spirit did not know Lin Yuan's thoughts and began to mutter softly. Soon, The blood left behind by the monster beasts at the beginning was mobilized by the mutant blood spirit to form a blood-red long saber that was absolutely not inferior to Lin Yuan's snake body. It slashed down at Lin Yuan. Yes, there was a lot of flesh and blood nearby, but it was almost useless to the mutant blood spirit. Because it had been exposed to the air for too long, the spiritual energy contained in the blood had completely dissipated. Even if it devoured the blood, it would not be of any help to itself. It was like a refugee eating soil in a disaster. Although it was full for a short period of time, its body had no way of digesting the soil that it had eaten, nor was there any way to expel it. In the end, it would be bloated to death. Therefore, the only use of the blood for it was to be used as a weapon to attack, similar to Lin Yuan's innate ability to control water. As the mutant blood spirit continued its attack, Lin Yuan's coiled snake body shot out again. Accompanied by a series of puff, puff, puff sounds, the huge blood saber that fell from the sky completely collapsed when it fell on Lin Yuan's body and turned back into a pool of blood on the ground. Failing its attack, the mutant blood spirit's eyes suddenly revealed a touch of panic. It stomped on the ground and retreated rapidly. However, the speed of the mutant blood spirit and Lin Yuan were originally almost the same. This time, it was Lin Yuan who made the first move. Naturally, he caught up with the mutant blood spirit very quickly. For Lin Yuan, it was not difficult at all to open its bloody mouth and swallow the mutant blood spirit with the size of a normal person. He ate it. A heavy armor warrior who had been blown away by the mutant blood spirit looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Just a moment ago, the mutant blood spirit was invincible and had even chased the black snake all the way here. How could it be so easily swallowed by the black snake? The answer was, impossible. After swallowing the mutant blood spirit, Lin Yuan realized that something was wrong before the system's familiar prompt sounded. However, at the next moment, waves of tearing feeling continued to spread throughout his body, making Lin Yuan feel even more pain than before. Stimulated by the intense pain, Lin Yuan's eyes flashed with ferocity. He immediately cast his gaze on the heavy armor warriors who had yet to recover. How many attribute points could a human in the airborne realm bring him? Would killing all 5 of them be enough for him to rise to level 10? It was obvious that the tearing feeling in his body was getting worse, and that mutant blood spirit should be gradually recovering. Even if Lin Yuan had one chance to heal all of his injuries in an instant, it might not be enough. Chapter 67. Enduring the pain and the desire to kill, Lin Yuan put all his remaining attribute points into defense. Host, Lin Yuan status, Big Black Snake, Evolvable, Realm, 9 out of 10 Talent, 1. Identify enemy's location based on smell, unable to evolve, 2. Create an accurate image of a 500-meter radius based on smell, 0/100, 3. Water/ice control, 0 out of 100, Speed, 14 Defense, 14. 7 Attack, 14 Distributable Points, 0 Martial Arts, Golden Body Secrets, 40/75, Skills, 1. Death Coil, 34 of 300, 2. Venom Enhancement, 2 out of 100, 3. Tail Strike, 17 out of 100, Item, Light Feather Chance to Molt X1. When Lin Yuan advanced to a level 9 monster, the dark gold color on the snake's body instantly faded, and it grew again, reaching an exaggerated length of 75 meters. Lin Yuan wasn't sure why he was a big black snake and not a big black python in the eyes of the system. The largest snake he knew of in his previous life was only the Titan python, with an average length of 9 to 13 meters. It was said that the largest one was only 15 meters. And this kind of huge monster in his previous life was like an earthworm in front of the current Lin Yuan. It wasn't even enough for him to eat. You're calling me a snake with this? Then the pythons of this world, however, Lin Yuan wasn't too conflicted. From the 5 heavy armor warriors who couldn't get up again, he randomly chose a lucky spectator and rushed to the opponent's side without hesitation, directly biting half of the opponent's body. Lin Yuan didn't have any intention of letting the other four go. Death coil 4 times in a row. Although Lin Yuan's technique couldn't do it, the system's skills could adjust Lin Yuan's body. So, in the blink of an eye, the other 4 heavy armor warriors were directly entangled by Lin Yuan's huge snake body. However, the heavy armor on their bodies was something that could withstand the attacks of Wisdom Realm great demons. Regardless of whether it was Lin Yuan's bite or death coil, they were all firmly blocked by that layer of heavy armor. Although the rest of the heavy armor warriors wanted to come over and help, after Lin Yuan destroyed the cannon formation, the remaining Wisdom Stage Great Yao roared and charged into the battlefield. The already small number of heavy armor warriors became increasingly understaffed. Seeing that Lin Yuan was temporarily unable to deal with their 5 comrades, they all turned their attention to the remaining Great Yao. Under the suppression of Lin Yuan's terrifying power, the 5 human beings at the airborne realm did not even have a chance to struggle. They knew very well that although Lin Yuan couldn't do anything to them for the time being, they would be exhausted to death by Lin Yuan if they didn't have any water or food to replenish themselves. Boom! A loud noise was heard. Lin Yuan was entangled with the 5 heavy armor warriors. The snake's body kept slapping and thrashing on the ground. Even Lin Yuan's body had some bloody wounds from time to time. It was obvious that Lin Yuan was using a lot of force every time he hit the ground. At the moment, he was completely with the mentality of dying together with his enemies. In addition to Lin Yuan, who took the brunt of the impact head-on, and the 5 heavy armor warriors entangled by him, even the mutant blood spirit that was wreaking havoc in his body was affected at the moment. This, Jiao Shi and Men Du, who had been paying attention to Lin Yuan, could not help but click their tongues. What kind of grudge does this guy have with humans? He even resorted to such a self-destructive method just to kill 5 heavy armor warriors who were already seriously injured? Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing an airborne realm human. 5 attribute points are awarded. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the first kill across a realm. 1 skill draw is rewarded. Under Lin Yuan's self-destructive attack, the first heavy armor warrior was quickly killed. The pleasant system prompt also sounded in Lin Yuan's ears. Without the slightest hesitation, Lin Yuan directly put all 5 attribute points on defense. The golden body secrets could only form a layer of golden body on the surface of the body, which would prevent a certain amount of damage from the opponent. Before the golden body was broken, it would also be immune to damage such as broken limbs and bleeding. However, it was obvious that the golden body secrets was only a cultivation method given by the system. It was not so powerful that Lin Yuan would be invincible in the world if he mastered it. At the very least, his body was still a fatal weakness. However, one's own defense was a comprehensive data. It was not only the skin and muscles, but also the strength of the internal organs. Of course, if it were not for the existence of the mutant blood spirit in his body, Lin Yuan would have been more inclined to put the attribute points into attack or speed. After all, he was a predator, not a turtle. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing an airborne realm human. 5 attribute points are awarded. Another system electronic voice sounded. Lin Yuan's eyes revealed a look of contemplation. Whether it was humans or monsters, even if a freak like Lin Yuan was excluded, there was still a gap between people of the same level. It was just like how cats were always the nemesis of snakes in the natural world. The second heavy armor warrior to die was obviously much stronger than the first heavy armor warrior, but the attribute points given by the system were all 5 points. Obviously, this was the malice of the Russian nesting doll system. It should be because Lin Yuan's realm had not yet reached the wisdom state, so the system deducted a portion of his attribute points. Otherwise, Lin Yuan would not have received different attribute points based on the strength of the level 9 monster when he killed it. Without hesitation, he put 3 attribute points into defense again. Lin Yuan's body expanded to a terrifying height of 100 meters again, and an inexplicable aura condensed on Lin Yuan's body. Demonic aura. Only monsters in the wisdom realm could condense demonic aura. When facing low-level monsters, monsters in the wisdom realm could simply release their own demonic aura and scare them to the point that they could not move. It was similar to the murderous aura that Lin Yuan had honed, and the bloodline pressure that the Jiao snake had released on Lin Yuan. However, this kind of strange aura could be used as a temporary control technique. Perhaps against those who had no desire to live, just the aura alone could control the other party until the moment of their death. However, like in the novels of his previous life, just the aura alone could cause the other party to explode and die. Obviously, it was not possible. Leveled up again. Mendes saw that Lin Yuan had evolved from a level 9 demonic beast to a level 10 demonic beast in just a few minutes in front of him. His heart was greatly shocked. Since when was leveling up as easy as drinking water for monsters? Moreover, this guy was a little too strange. At level 7, he could actively communicate with other monsters through his mind. Now that he had just reached level 10, he could condense the demonic aura that only monsters in the wisdom realm had. Didn't this mean that this guy could step into the wisdom realm at any time? Were the young monsters nowadays all so terrifyingly talented? Not only was Mendo shocked, but even the Jiao snake, who was at odds with Lin Yuan, had a cold look in its eyes. Chapter 68. Be it humans or monsters present, all of them were completely shocked by Lin Yuan's 2 consecutive breakthroughs in a short period of time. However, the difference was that the Gate Capital had some friendship with Lin Yuan. It believed that Lin Yuan would become a powerful ally of the Stone's Hard clan after he grew up. The Jiao snake's thoughts were different. It had no friendship with Lin Yuan and even had some dirty thoughts about him. If a terrifying existence like Lin Yuan was allowed to grow, it might not be long before Lin Yuan devoured it. As for the humans, retreat. The human commander's face darkened as he called out to his subordinates. Then, he rushed toward Mountain Rampart City. Back when the mountain-shaking apes attacked Bailing Mountain City, they treated the city guards and the monster slayers as nothing. They even forced the previous city lord of Bailing Mountain City to sign many treaties. Until today, the monster slayers of Bailing Mountain City did not dare to step into the Hengduan Mountains easily. They only dared to collect some low-level spiritual items or hunt some low-level monsters near the monster forest. Therefore, the current city lord of Zhanshan City was actually sent here by the dynasty behind him. Moreover, he had brought along a large group of elite guards. The heavy armored warriors and artillery battalion that were gathered here were just a part of it. Originally, he wanted to take advantage of the birth of Blood Spirit to teach the Hengduan mountain range's demonic beasts a lesson and let them see clearly who was the true ruler of this continent. However, the mutation of the Blood Spirit and a black snake with almost invincible defense completely ruined their plan. Not to mention the fact that the other monsters in the Hengduan mountains were coming to their aid, just the fact that the Wisdom Realm monsters were no longer suppressed by the artillery alone was enough to make them stay here. Kill. A black tiger demon beast with shiny black fur roared angrily. Leading most of the bloodthirsty and warlike demon beasts, they chased in the direction where the humans had fled. Obviously, the humans' blatant violation of the treaty had angered the predators in the Hengduan Mountains. It was unlikely that they would attack Bailing Mountain City again, but it was also impossible for the humans who entered the Hengduan Mountains to escape unscathed. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing an airborne realm human. 5 attribute points gained. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing an airborne realm human. 5 attribute points have been awarded. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing an airborne realm human. 5 attribute points have been awarded. 3 consecutive system notifications rang in his ears. Only then did Lin Yuan loosen his grip on the 5 metal cans that had been completely smashed into mush. Once again, a look of contemplation appeared in his eyes. Damn system, just how many attribute points did it eat from him? When he was at level 8, he was able to gain 5 attribute points for killing an airborne realm human being. Now that he was at level 10, killing an airborne realm human being still gave him 5 attribute points. Roar! A loud and clear voice suddenly sounded in his ears. Ding! Detected the killing intent of the wisdom state demonic beast, Jiao Snake. Activated promotion mission, appearance of the owl snake. Name, appearance of the owl snake. Description, the current host has already transformed into a level 10 demonic beast. One more step and you will become a true demonic beast. You will also officially become one of the top predators in this stage of the Hengduan Mountains. Unfortunately, the host's previous words did not make the other party feel that the host was a junior with a strong personality. Instead, the other party was worried that the host would launch an attack after becoming a wisdom demonic beast. Therefore, the other party wanted to eliminate the host's existence before the host completely matured. Then, go and prove yourself. Tell these prey who the real predator of this forest is. Mission requirement, kill the Jiao snake and devour it. Mission reward, activate the next promotion mission. Failure punishment, the host will completely lose the opportunity to advance. Lin Yuan turned his head in confusion and saw the dragon snake, whose body was longer and thicker than his own, rushing toward him at full speed. Its pair of bronze vertical pupils were full of killing intent. This promotion mission for appearance of the owl snake was obviously not that easy to complete. After all, Lin Yuan could rely on his body size to control the 5 heavily injured heavy armor warriors. Then, he could use the method of self-harm to injure each other. Then, he could use the power of the system to heal all injuries after the promotion to repair his own injuries. However, when facing a real wisdom state big monster, Lin Yuan had no advantage at all. Although Lin Yuan had added all his attribute points to the golden body technique the moment the system notification sounded, there was still a small half of his 100-meter-long snake body that had not been tempered. Even if this Jiao snake had not become a Jiao dragon and did not have the ability to summon clouds, summon rain, or summon lightning, its physique was not something the current Lin Yuan could compare to. System, if I can't complete this mission, will I never be able to advance? Lin Yuan asked the system as he twisted his snake body to adjust his posture and prepared to dodge. This system's name is Pui, Infinite Evolution System. Its purpose is to make the host stronger and stronger, and eventually become the overlord of the universe. If the host is unable to complete this mission, the system will deprive the host of the evolution opportunity and begin to unbind the host. During the unbinding period, the host will lose all consciousness until the system is done. During this period, the system will not guarantee the host's safety. However, this system can give you a friendly reminder. Although the host is not a match for this Jiao snake, the system's mission does not prohibit external help. It will only affect the host's mission completion rating. Compared to your own life, there is no need for the host to value the rewards so much. The system timely extinguished Lin Yuan's fantasy. If he could not complete the mission, the system would deprive him of the evolution opportunity. Even if he was lucky during the period when he was a plant snake and did not become food for any monster, after he woke up, he would only be a level 10 monster for the rest of his life. 2 years later, he might have to face the pursuit of the Broken Stone clan. If he could not complete this promotion mission, he would die. Helper, Lin Yuan's snake body rolled, crushing a large part of the forest. His blue and white vertical pupils suddenly fell on Mendu, who was not far away. There were a lot of wisdom state demons present, but only Menda had a friendly relationship with Lin Yuan. Mendu, what you said before, does it still count? Lin Yuan wriggled his snake body closer to Mendu, and used his mind to communicate with the other party. Old worm, if you move one more time, I'll take your life. Mendu's reaction was extremely fast. Almost as soon as Lin Yuan dodged the first attack of the Jiao snake, he turned into a white shadow and landed heavily beside Lin Yuan. He looked coldly at the Jiao snake, whose killing intent was aroused. As a member of this generation's overlord tribe, Mendu never thought that this Jiao snake would dare to attack the black snake that he said he would protect. Chapter 69. The flood dragon snake's bronze eyes flashed with a faint cold light. Whoosh! The tumbling flames instantly exploded and spread out in all directions. The flood dragon snake's talent was to control fire, and it seemed to be much better than Lin Yuan's. Lin Yuan had to ensure that there was water around him or it was raining in order to perfectly display his talent, but this flood dragon snake could produce flames out of thin air. Mendu, I'm not afraid of your mountain-shaking ape clan. But are you sure you want to be an enemy of my noble dragon clan? The flood dragon snake, wrapped in flames, looked at Mendu coldly and had no intention of retreating. This black snake, which had advanced twice in a row in the blink of an eye, was extremely terrifying. If it could not be eliminated today, it was afraid that it would not be able to live in peace for a few days. For a dead black snake, the mountain-shaking ape clan would not completely fall out with it, an existence that had the opportunity to transform into a flood dragon. Roar! Mendu roared in response to the flood dragon snake. As a high-end fighting force among the overlords of this area, Mendu's temper was obviously not as good as it was in front of Lin Yuan. After confirming that the flood dragon snake was going to fall out, Mendu's body was covered with a layer of stone armor. He waved an incomparably huge stone stick in his hand and began to smash it towards the flood dragon snake. The flood dragon snake was naturally not to be outdone. Its thick snake body showed an agility that did not match its body. It thoroughly demonstrated the saying, hit the snake with the stick, vividly. Not only did the thick stone stick not cause any harm to it, but it was also entangled by the flood dragon snake and moved up along the stone stick in circles. Wherever the flood dragon snake went, it would immediately turn red. Obviously, the temperature was extremely high. However, Mendu had no intention of letting go. He just kept waving the stone stick in his hand, as if trying to throw the flood dragon snake away. However, the flood dragon snake's entanglement was obviously terrifying. It was as if it was one with the stone stick. No matter how Mendu waved the stone stick in his hand, he did not see the flood dragon snake slip away at all. It even continued to move up along the stone stick. Finally, the flood dragon snake climbed to the top of the stone stick, which was the area where Mendu was holding the stone stick with both hands. The flood dragon snake suddenly coiled up half of its body, a pair of bronze vertical pupils coldly looked at Mendu, and said extremely coldly, Mendu, you mountain-shaking apes only know a few tricks. Since you insist on being my enemy, then, die. As soon as he finished speaking, the flood dragon snake suddenly opened its mouth and spat out a cluster of thick orange-red flames. Mendu was prepared for this. Obviously, not only did the flood dragon snake understand his fighting style, but he was also very familiar with the flood dragon snake's fighting style. Almost at the same time the orange-red flames were spat out, a huge stone wall rose in front of Mendu. The orange-red flames were loaded onto the stone wall and immediately spread to both sides. Although some of the hair on Mendu's arms were burnt, it did not hurt Mendu's vital parts. The mountain-shaking apes were not good-tempered creatures. When Demon Slayer entered the Hengduan Mountains to steal the cubs of the mountain-shaking apes, the entire Zhongshan city was trampled by them. Therefore, Mendu was naturally not an existence that would take a beating without fighting back. The moment the stone wall blocked the flames, 5 or 6 thick stone spikes suddenly rose from the ground and ruthlessly pierced into the flood dragon snake's soft abdomen. Yes, thick. Even with Lin Yuan's current snake body size of 100 meters, these connected stone thorns could still be regarded as thick and sturdy. If the same attack landed on his body, it could even tear apart half of his body. However, such an injury to a wisdom state great demon like the flood dragon snake would at most cause 3 or 6 holes in a human's body. However, if a human's body was not treated in time, they could lose their life at any time. However, for a great demon like the flood dragon snake, such an injury could be healed by half a day of rest. Lin Yuan flicked his tongue and coldly observed the battle between Mendu and the flood dragon snake. He had no desire to interfere in the battle between 2 wisdom state great demons. Even if he killed the flood dragon snake, he would only be rewarded with 5 attribute points from the system. Even if he did nothing and killed the flood dragon snake while watching Mendu kill it, he could still successfully complete the emergency mission. He would only lose 5 attribute points. He would not risk his life for such a small benefit. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have successfully digested a level 10 spiritual body, mutated blood spirit. You have received 1 attribute point. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the mission, Heaven Sent Opportunity. Option 1, receive a chance to draw a blood type innate skill. You have received the status skill, Calm Mind. Blood type innate skill is being drawn, ding. Congratulations to the host. You have received the blood type innate skill, Blood Sacrifice Wishing Technique. Ding. Congratulations to the host. You have successfully digested the mutated energy within the blood spirit. You have received the blood boiling technique. A series of system notifications rang in his ears. Lin Yuan was shocked. When did this dog system become so generous? A mutated blood spirit actually gave him 2 skills. Blood Sacrifice Wishing Technique. The host can use attribute points or blood to make a wish. There is a chance of failure. The chance of failure is related to the difficulty of the wish and the number of sacrifices. For example, if the host wishes to become the overlord of the universe and only uses 1 attribute point to make a wish, the wish will fail 100% of the time. Blood Boiling Technique. After the host activates this skill, the host can enter a state where all attributes are doubled. This state can last for 3 minutes without any side effects. The cooldown time is 3 days. The system calmly gave the introductions of the 2 new skills. A buff that doubled all attributes without any side effects wasn't enough to surprise Lin Yuan. However, the blood sacrifice wishing technique made Lin Yuan's eyes light up. Causal Law Skill. This was definitely the most terrifying skill. There was no other skill that could compare to it. As long as Lin Yuan could pay the price, becoming the overlord of the universe might really be something that could be achieved with a single wish. In addition to Lin Yuan, who was pleasantly surprised at this moment, the battle between Mendu and the snake had also reached its climax. Mendu's thick stone staff had been completely melted by the snake's flames. The snake's tail whipped Mendu 3 steps back. The snake's body was also covered with bloody holes of various sizes. It looked like it would die at any moment. However, its aura was very stable. It seemed like it had only suffered light injuries. Mendu's body was also covered with bite marks from the snake's fangs. However, his vitality was incomparably dense. It seemed like the more he fought, the braver he became. Lin Yuan's eyelids twitched. The vitality of a wisdom realm great demon far exceeded his imagination. Chapter 70. Lin Yuan even rejoiced that he did not choose to fight with the snake at the beginning. Instead, he let go of his greed and took the initiative to ask for help from Mendo. Blood Sacrifice Prayer Technique. Lin Yuan did not hesitate at all and directly activated his newly acquired karma technique. 1/3 of his blood was drained by an inexplicable force. Even though Lin Yuan had a strong physique, he still felt dizzy and extremely weak. Everything in front of Lin Yuan's eyes turned black and white. This feeling of dancing with death was very strange, but he would never want to experience it again. However, with the sacrifice of 1/3 of a 10th grade demonic beast's blood, the effect was remarkable. A thick layer of dark clouds instantly covered the sky, as if a heavy rain was brewing. "Hey, old worm, it seems that even the heavens are not helping you." Mendo laughed and grabbed the snake that was trying to escape. An evil smile appeared on his ferocious face. All the demonic beasts thought that the sudden change in the weather was the will of the heavens. None of them paid attention to Lin Yuan, who was on the verge of collapsing. Even though a great demonic beast in the wisdom realm could condense some elemental energy out of thin air to change the weather, directly summoning a dark cloud was something that only a flood dragon could do. How could a 10th grade spirit awakening demonic beast do it? Mendo, I will remember today's grudge. The snake roared and crazily wriggled its body, trying to break free from Mendo's grasp. However, Mendo obviously didn't intend to let the snake go so easily. He held on tightly to the snake's body. Even though the webbing between his thumb and index finger had already been torn open by the snake's brute force, the snake's body was still badly mutilated by Mendo's terrifying strength. This was reality, not a game. Even a great demonic beast in the wisdom realm like the snake could not survive after losing a part of its body. Whoosh! At this moment, a bright black light shot over. Lin Yuan focused his eyes and saw that it was a small black snake that was only 1 meter long. It did not look like a demonic beast that could appear in the Hengduan mountain range. After all, with its size, even in the demonic beast forest, it was definitely at the bottom of the food chain. However, after seeing the appearance of the small black snake, Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils suddenly shrank. A snake's body, a dragon's head, and a monstrous aura. This small black snake gave Lin Yuan a very familiar feeling, as if he had seen it somewhere before. Dove snake. The system's cold voice sounded, and Lin Yuan even felt a cold killing intent rush to his head. Obviously, the Russian nesting doll system was not one to be taken advantage of. Even when facing its host, Lin Yuan, the system was thinking of ways to set a trap for him. Facing the dove snake, an existence that stole its power, it would be strange if the system did not show him any mercy. The dove snake's movements were extremely fast. Lin Yuan did not even have time to open his mouth to warn Mendo. The dove snake's body had already been pierced by the dove snake, and it was right in the middle of the snake's head. However, the dove snake did not intend to directly pierce through the snake's head. The image of the olfactory imaging appeared in his mind. Lin Yuan felt a chill run down his spine. This dove snake was actually devouring the brain of the flood dragon snake. Moreover, as time passed, the dove snake's aura seemed to be gradually rising. It was not the feeling of a rapid increase in strength, but more like it was recovering its strength. That's right. Lin Yuan suddenly understood. This dove snake had separated 4 bones from its body and given them to the rank 9 martial artist. It was obvious that it had come for him. It had probably heard that there was an ancient black snake in the demon beast forest. Therefore, it had thought that he had the blood of the dragon clan in his body. Therefore, it wanted to devour him to advance further. However, after the dove snake bone spear had scratched Lin Yuan, it did not steal the dragon blood that Lin Yuan did not have. Instead, it stole a part of the system's power, and then it was directly blown up by the system's power. Losing 4 dove snake bones was not a fatal injury for this legendary creature that could sneak into the dragon clan's nest and devour an adult dragon clan, but it was definitely a serious injury. It had attacked the snake not because it was kind and wanted to help Lin Yuan and Mendo. Although the dragon snake had not completely evolved, it still had the blood of the dragon clan in its body. Devouring such an existence would not have the same effect as devouring the dragon clan, but it would definitely allow its strength to gradually recover. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have completed the first stage of the mission, Evil Snake. The dragon snake that wanted to kill you has been completely killed. Now the host's priority is to devour the dragon snake's flesh and obtain the dragon blood in the dragon snake's body to enter a new realm. Otherwise, the host will forever lose the ability to evolve. The system's cold voice sounded. The first part was the system's notification that the mission had been completed, but the latter part, Lin Yuan simply thought that the system was being petty and gave him a fancy job. It wanted him to deal with the dove snake that was devouring the brain of the dragon snake. The dove snake was able to kill the Wisdom Realm Great Demon in 1 hit, even if it was a weak Great Demon. It was clear that the dove snake's strength was not ordinary, and it also had the dragon blood. It could directly use the dragon blood to suppress Lin Yuan for a short period of time. In a battle between experts, 2 or 3 moves were enough to kill. Between high-level monsters, it was naturally the same. In that short period of suppression, if the dove snake suddenly attacked him, it would have no problem killing him in 1 hit. But at this time, Lin Yuan did not have much time to think. After a short moment of hesitation, Lin Yuan directly flew out and bit the dragon snake's body that was completely cold. His blue and white vertical pupils flashed with a cold light. A thing that offended the system actually dared to intercept it. Do you think that I, Lin Yuan, have no temper? Or do you think that the Russian nesting doll system has no temper? Rumble, accompanied by the sound of thunder, Lin Yuan directly launched the attack. With the right time, place, and people, what else did he have to worry about? Just do it. Drops of rainwater gradually changed shape under Lin Yuan's control, forming a thick and long transparent chain that directly wrapped around the dragon snake's head. In the next moment, Lin Yuan's mind moved, and the transparent chain instantly twisted the dragon snake's head into a pile of minced meat. The black dove snake was forced out, but it did not fall to the ground. It strangely hung in midair. Chapter 71. Black Snake, I originally came for you. However, you don't have any dragon blood in your body. Even if I devour you, it won't benefit me. Furthermore, I helped you get rid of this flood dragon snake. Shouldn't you be grateful to me? You actually dared to disturb me while I was eating. Could it be, you're tired of living? The dove serpent coldly looked at Lin Yuan as if it was looking at a corpse. Your prey. Not necessarily. Lin Yuan shook his snake head. The cold light in his eyes reappeared. He used his mind to say, if you say so, then I can only stay by your side. When you're hunting, I'll give you a stab. Does that mean that you're my prey? How laughable. Lin Yuan didn't give the dove serpent any face. He also looked at the dove serpent as if he was looking at a corpse. The dove serpent looked at Lin Yuan because even though it had lost a lot of its strength, it still had the combat strength of the wisdom realm. Even if its injuries would relapse if it fought for a long time, it wouldn't be difficult for it to kill a class 10 demonic beast. However, Lin Yuan looked at the flood dragon snake as if he was really looking at a corpse. He didn't read many novels in his previous life. He only read a few system-type novels. The system in his body clearly had its own intelligence and calculations. It wasn't a simple artificial retard. Thus, this dove serpent offended the system. It was basically lying in a coffin, waiting for Lin Yuan to smash the nail into it. At this moment, Lin Yuan finally reacted. Why did the mutated blood spirit give 2 skills? It was all the F*King system's calculations. The blood sacrifice wishing technique allowed him to occupy the right time. Coupled with the blood boiling technique, which didn't have any side effects, it directly doubled his current strength. It was probably the trump card that the system prepared for him to deal with the dove serpent. Junior, I won't lower myself to your level. If you scram now, I can still let you go. She turned his head to look at the headless corpse of the Jiao snake on the ground, and a pained expression appeared in his eyes. There were many snake-type monsters in the Hengduan Mountains, but only a few of them had the blood of the dragon clan. Even such an incomplete Jiao snake was a rare delicacy for it. Now that the most delicious part of the snake had been destroyed by Lin Yuan, it was enough to make it want to tear Lin Yuan apart. However, Mendu was standing beside it after all. The strength of this mountain-shaking ape was extremely terrifying. Even if it was at its peak, it might not be able to defeat Mendu. I'm not leaving. I'll wait here. Lin Yuan glanced to the side, the coldness in his eyes growing colder. You're courting death. The dove snake angrily roared, and its 3 feet long black snake body violently swept over. Come! Lin Yuan roared in his heart. He activated the golden body secrets, and a dark golden luster began to appear on a small part of his skin. The group of level 9 monsters and wisdom state monsters, including Mendu, all showed an incredulous expression. They looked at Lin Yuan, who was advancing instead of retreating, and their mouths opened wider and wider. This black snake, was its head so hard? Going head-to-head with an wisdom state monster? Did it think that it was already in wisdom state monster just because it had condensed demon chi on its body? Boom! A loud sound reverberated. The black snake body abruptly stopped in midair, and Lin Yuan flew back 30 meters. His dark golden skin cracked inch by inch, revealing the black snake scales underneath. The skin that was not covered by the dark golden luster was torn apart, and the scales fell off. Large amounts of blood continued to pour out. Just as so. The dove snake sneered, as if it did not put Lin Yuan's resistance in its eyes. However, no matter how disdainful it appeared on the surface, the dove snake's heart was in a perilous situation. This guy was only a level 10 monster. Not only did it use its mind to communicate with other monsters, but its own strength was also very terrifying. Not to mention a monster that had just advanced to level 10, even those monsters that had constantly trained themselves to reach the peak of level 10, or even those that were about to enter the wisdom state, might not be able to withstand its attack. Lin Yuan shook his swollen snake head, and without any hesitation, he pounced on the dove snake again. This guy's attack caused a terrifying damage of close to 100 points. Was an wisdom state monster really so terrifying? However, Lin Yuan had no intention of backing down. After all, if he failed this mission, even if his luck was not bad, his strength would be stuck at the level 10 monster level, and he would never be able to advance any further. Moreover, he had the support of the system, Ba Ba. What was there to be afraid of? Although the system did not say anything, Lin Yuan discovered that when he was fighting with the dove snake, the pressure from the other party's bloodline had already dropped to a freezing point. It could even be ignored, and the pressure was not even as great as when the flood snake wanted to kill him. Obviously, this was due to the system's contribution. Blood boil technique. Lin Yuan's pair of blue-white vertical pupils were gradually dyed with a scarlet color. At the moment when the skill was activated, Lin Yuan even felt that his blood was burning. Host, Lin Yuan status, Big Black Snake, can evolve, realm, 10 out of 10 innate skills, 1. Distinguish the enemy's position by smell, cannot evolve, 2. Create an accurate image of a 500-meter range by smell, 0/100, 3. Water/ice control, 0/100, 4. Blood sacrifice wish technique speed, 14 plus 15 defense, 23 plus 24 attack, 14 plus 15 distributable points, 0 martial arts, golden body secrets, 55 out of 75, skills, 1. Death coil, 38 of 300, 2. Poison enhancement, 2 out of 100, 3. Tail strike, 19 out of 100, 4. Blood boil technique, 1 out of 100, item, light feather chance to molt X1. The blood boil technique doubled his attributes, and in addition to the rainstorm, all of Lin Yuan's attributes had already exceeded 100 points, reaching an extremely terrifying level. Even some wisdom realm monsters might not have such terrifying attributes like Lin Yuan's. His 47 points of defense, coupled with the golden body secret's damage immunity, and after Lin Yuan estimated the damage that the dove snake had done to him, his heart was filled with confidence. My 23 points of defense can make my scalp go numb. Then with my 47 points of defense, what can you do to me? Fuck. Even the dove snake, who had seen the world, could not help but curse in a low voice. What was wrong with this black snake? Other monsters were more afraid the stronger they got, and in the end, they would completely submit to the strong. Why did this black snake seem to be getting more and more excited? Could it be that his attacking posture was wrong? Thinking of this, Lin Yuan had already arrived in front of the dove snake. In the eyes of other monsters, his iron head fiercely slammed into the dove snake's body. Then, boom! The scene exploded. The dove snake, who had just firmly held the upper hand, was directly sent flying by Lin Yuan's rocket head hammer filled with confidence. Its 3 feet long body drew a long ditch in the ground, and it forcefully slid more than 50 meters before coming to a stop. Chapter 72. After all, the dove snake was a wisdom state monster. Even if it couldn't take down Lin Yuan, it was only surprised for a moment. A level 10 monster was a level 10 monster. Compared to a wisdom state monster, the difference was like heaven and earth. However, when Lin Yuan took the initiative to attack it, it suddenly realized that it was wrong. This black snake, there was definitely something wrong with it. Before it entered the Hengduan Mountains, it used its talent to possess several humans. After inquiring about it, it was certain that the black snake that Miss Lu had encountered was just a newly awakened demonic beast. In less than half a year, the black snake had transformed from a wild beast to a majestic level 10 demonic beast. This growth speed was unimaginable for others. However, after seeing this extraordinary black snake with its own eyes, the dove snake was once again disappointed. This was because it couldn't sense any dragon aura from this black snake. In other words, this black snake didn't have a trace of dragon blood in it. It was just an ordinary black snake. At this moment, all of the dove snake's deductions were overturned. Without waiting for the dove snake to adjust its posture, Lin Yuan's next attack had already landed. The 5 to 6 meter thick snake tail suddenly smashed down. It was as if a light hit could crush the 3 meter long dove snake into meat paste. Ong! The dove snake suddenly let out a roar that sounded like a dragon. The 3 meter long black snake body suddenly began to expand. Without waiting for Lin Yuan's snake tail to land, the dove snake had already turned into a huge black python that was close to 150 meters long. However, its head had turned into a golden dragon head. It looked completely out of place with its black python body. Ding! Congratulations to the host for activating the special quest, Kill the Pseudo-Dragon. Name, Kill the Pseudo-Dragon. Description, the dove snake is an extremely disgusting monster beast. The one in front of you failed to devour the mother dragon and was severely injured by the mother dragon. It almost lost all of its cultivation in order to keep its life. It hid for many years before finally escaping the limelight. Now, it has begun to devour monsters with dragon bloodline in an attempt to transform into a dragon. Host, please kill it as soon as possible. Reward, Dragon Clan Favorability Punishment, nil. Seeing the activated quest, Lin Yuan's heart didn't waver. He even wanted to laugh in his heart. Here it comes. In the end, they still came. This petty system had come to nail the nail into Jiao Shi's coffin. The system was indeed powerful, but it couldn't influence anything out of thin air. Just like how it didn't know that the blood spirit had mutated when it first discovered it. Also, in the Monsters Pact mission, Batu was extremely important to the Crushed Stone tribe and even the Mountain Quaking Apes, which was why it involved the friendship of the entire Mountain Quaking Apes. The reward for this special mission naturally wouldn't come out of nowhere. Perhaps there really was a mysterious existence among the monster beasts watching the battle nearby. Even if it was not a member of the Dragon Clan, it was likely that it had a deep relationship with the Dragon Clan. The dove serpent's body was entangled with Lin Yuan's snake body, and the two terrifying forces were constantly clashing against each other. Neither of them was willing to back down. Not only that, the two behemoths were entangled with each other and kept rolling around. The nearby rocks and trees were all destroyed by the two of them. They were either turned into dust or shattered into pieces. This wasn't the end. The dove serpent and Lin Yuan were constantly coiling their upper bodies and tearing at each other. Almost every bite would bring out large chunks of flesh and blood. Then, under each other's hateful gazes, they would swallow each other's flesh and blood into their stomachs. Drops of rain turned into icicles, and they didn't differentiate between Lin Yuan and the dove serpent, constantly piercing the two behemoths. Clouds of blood exploded in the rain, and a tragic aura spread everywhere. This was a life and death battle between monster beasts. Even an existence like the dove serpent, who wanted to devour the Dragon Clan, couldn't avoid it. The dove serpent was risking its life because Lin Yuan, who was in the blood boil state, had attributes that were not inferior to ordinary intelligence realm monster beasts. With its current strength, it could barely fight on par with Lin Yuan, but it was still heavily injured and couldn't continue fighting with him. Otherwise, it would die an incomparably miserable death. Lin Yuan was also risking his life. Apart from him, no other creature could understand what kind of opportunity he would lose if he couldn't kill the dove serpent and swallow the Jiao serpent's corpse. How miserable would his future be? Kacha! Following the crisp sound of bones cracking, the monster beasts in the surroundings all held their breaths. Neither the dove serpent nor Lin Yuan had any intention of holding back as they fought. At this moment, the two of them had practically stuffed their bodies into each other's bodies. Large amounts of blood and flesh fell to the ground, and one could even faintly see the beating of their internal organs and the eerie white bones that supported their bodies. "What the hell are you?" the dove serpent asked in despair. As time passed, it began to feel the pain of its old injuries, and its condition was far from being comparable to when it had just entered the battlefield. Moreover, it was getting weaker and weaker. Thus, at this moment, the dove serpent could almost see the god of death waving at it. However, Lin Yuan didn't have the time to pay attention to the dove serpent. He continued to tear apart the dove serpent's flesh and swallowed it into his stomach, constantly absorbing the energy from the flesh to repair his injuries. Yes, even in the blood boil state, Lin Yuan was still not the dove serpent's opponent. Thus, at this moment, the dove serpent still had the energy to speak, but Lin Yuan could do nothing but continue to numbly attack his opponent. Roar! Mendu suddenly roared in anger. A Wisdom Realm monster beast actually wanted to take advantage of the time when Lin Yuan was fighting with the dove serpent to snatch away the flood serpent's corpse. This was an existence that had a thin amount of dragon blood in its body. If it could completely devour it, the effect wouldn't be much worse than a spirit creature that had grown for hundreds of years. It might even awaken the bloodline in its body and return to its ancestral state. However, it forgot that although Lin Yuan and the dove serpent couldn't free themselves, Mendu was still guarding the flood serpent's corpse. Its pair of bright eyes stared unwaveringly at the other Wisdom Realm monster beasts. At this moment, Lin Yuan mustered all the strength in his body and took a final bite. This was his last bit of strength. If he could not kill this dove serpent, then he would not have the strength to continue fighting with this dove serpent. If this attack did not succeed, then he would die either way. However, what Lin Yuan didn't expect was that before his bite landed, the dove serpent's body suddenly stiffened and dissipated all of its aura. Ding! Congratulations to host for killing the Wisdom Realm monster beast, Dove Serpent. Reward, 5 attribute points. Ding! Congratulations to host for completing the special mission, killing the false dragon. Reward, Dragon Clan's favorability. Chapter 73. Dead. Lin Yuan was stunned. Although he thought that the dove snake was faking its death, waiting for him to let down his guard and then attack him. But after thinking about it carefully, even the system had announced that the attribute points were in Lin Yuan's hands. No matter how cunning the dove snake was, it was impossible for it to fake its death in front of the system's omnipotent existence. Thus, Lin Yuan instantly relaxed. When he was fighting with the dove snake, the system notifications kept ringing in his ears. Until now, he did not even look at them. It was too tiring. However, Lin Yuan still forced himself to stay alert. Little by little, he pulled himself out of the dove snake's body. Twisting his broken body, he began to slowly approach the Jiao snake's body. The most important task had not been completed yet. He believed that Mendu, even if he fainted, would protect him. After all, he had the key to healing Batu. Perhaps Mendu was skeptical of him before, but he was able to level up twice in front of Mendu. Moreover, every time he leveled up, he was able to heal all of his injuries. This had already proven his methods. But he did not want to wake up to find the Jiao snake's body in the stomach of another monster. The system also announced that it was unbound from him. Pain, bitterness, all kinds of feelings rushed into Lin Yuan's mind like a tidal wave. For a moment, Lin Yuan's whole body felt numb. But he still slithered to the side of the Jiao snake's body and began to slowly devour the Jiao snake's body. There was no smell in his mouth, only the pungent smell of blood. Every time he swallowed, it was not only the Jiao snake's flesh, but also the minced meat and blood in his mouth. This was the most serious injury he had ever suffered since he received the system. Moreover, the system had not told him how to level up, so Lin Yuan did not have the second life hidden method. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the first stage of the mission, Posture of the Owl Snake. Initiating the second stage of the mission, after that, Lin Yuan could no longer hear the system's announcement. He killed the dove snake, who had suddenly become extremely weak, and at the same time ate the Jiao snake's flesh. At this moment, he had lost all his obsession. Under the influence of the serious injury, he quickly lost all consciousness. 2 days later, Lin Yuan opened his eyes again. A trace of confusion flashed through his blue-white vertical pupils. He remembered that he had come to a beautiful place with verdant hills and limpid waters, and it was like spring all year round. There was always a thought in his heart that told him that as long as he was willing, he could stay in that beautiful place forever, and he would not have to worry about survival. However, he also remembered his tragic life in his previous life, and remembered the hatred and pain he had suffered. Therefore, he rejected that beautiful thought, and after that, he could not remember what had happened. However, he was certain that he was not in the area where he was fighting the dove serpent, nor was he in his own nest. When he was unconscious, he was dragged to a strange place by other demonic beasts. F***ck. Don't tell me you're treating me as your food reserve. Lin Yuan subconsciously wanted to jump up, but the pain that assaulted his mind made him give up the idea. Jump? Dream on. If he were to move even a little, he would feel as if his entire body would be torn apart. Even if they really treated him as a grain reserve, he could only lie here obediently. Otherwise, even if he wasn't captured by the other party, he would die halfway due to his injuries. System. He subconsciously called out. At this time, Lin Yuan's first reaction was to ask the system for help. With his own ability, he was unable to break out of this situation. However, the familiar electronic voice had completely disappeared. After a full 3 to 4 minutes, Lin Yuan did not receive any response from the system. A question mark slowly appeared in Lin Yuan's head. He clearly remembered that he had only fainted after completing the first stage of the promotion mission. Could it be that the system saw that he couldn't be saved, so it simply unbound him? Lin Yuan closed his eyes helplessly and sighed. He had already resigned himself to his fate. Ding, the system upgrade is complete, reconfiguring. The region is set to Sky Martial Continent, the language is set to the common language, the settings are complete. The operation mode is set to be mental control and voice control by default, the settings are complete. Host, please choose a new system assistant, Choice 1, Default Assistant. Choice 2, Sweet Lowly. Choice 3, Delicate and Domineering Sister. Choice 4. Listening to the system's broadcast in his mind, Lin Yuan was dumbfounded. To be honest, if he did not count the other options, Sweet Lowly, Delicate and Domineering Sister, and the original Russian doll, which one would he choose? After thinking for less than 0.1 seconds, Lin Yuan used his mind to choose the default assistant. No matter what kind of voice package the system assistant is, it is an intangible thing, and the default system is a Russian doll. Even if the voice package is changed, there will not be any changes, and it is impossible to give benefits. Lin Yuan is already used to the battle of wits and courage, and he does not want to grope for a new system assistant habit again. What if he chooses a person who is mentally retarded? At least you still have some conscience. The cold electronic voice sounded. Stop talking, tell me, what happened after I fainted? Lin Yuan squinted his eyes. Since he could not move, he took the initiative to ask the system for follow-up questions. Reading host's unread broadcast. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the first stage of Posture of the Owl Snake, the second stage of the mission is now unlocked. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the dragon's favor, the current relationship with the dragon's forces is close. Ding, congratulations to the host for devouring the flesh of the flood snake, obtaining a trace of dragon's bloodline, the bloodline model has been unlocked. 3 consecutive system notifications sounded in Lin Yuan's mind. In that instant, Lin Yuan did not have the intention to look at the details, but he was slightly curious. What did the dove snake that died in his hands do? How could the relationship between him and the dragon jump to close after killing it? Even the Broken Stone clan was not that close to Lin Yuan now. System, since I obtained the dragon's bloodline, does that mean I'm not a snake anymore? Lin Yuan blinked and asked subconsciously. A true dragon is a dragon, a flood dragon is also a dragon, some big lizards that can fly, some lesser dragons that walk on the ground, there are many things that can be considered dragon in the world. They all look similar and call themselves dragons, but in reality, it is just the density and scarcity of the dragon's bloodline in the body that differs. The host did not really think that you would become a dragon just because you obtained a trace of dragon's bloodline, right? Is there such a good thing in the world? The system's familiar ridicule sounded. In the end, it paused, and then added, let me remind the host again. Even in your dreams, you must have a sense of propriety. Chapter 74. Host, Lin Yuan status, Big Black Snake, Evolvable, Realm, 10 out of 10 Talent, 1. Identify the enemy's position according to smell, cannot be advanced, 2. Form an accurate image within 500 meters around the body according to smell, 0/100, 3. Water/ice control, 0/100, 4. Blood sacrifice wishing technique speed, 14, 1, defense, 23, 0, attack, 14, 0, assignable points, 5 martial arts, golden body secrets, 55 out of 75, skills, 1. Death coil, 138 to 300, 2. Poison of poisoned wine, 0/300, 3. Tail attack, 21 out of 100, 4. Blood boiling technique, 1/100, item, destroyed feather, reparable, molting opportunity X1 bloodline evolution selection opportunity X1 looking at the newly appeared system panel, Lin Yuan's originally dark snake head became even darker. The brackets behind the attribute values were his current attributes. In other words, his current speed was only at the level of a level 1 monster. Whether it was his defense or attack power, they were all 0. Even if it was an ordinary beast, as long as it could catch up with him, it could easily kill him. Dog system, it's too realistic. However, the advancement of Venom's enhanced skills was also an unexpected surprise. It seemed that every time he entered this state where he relied entirely on instinct to fight to the death, his skills would advance. After thinking about it carefully, Lin Yuan completely tore the bold idea in his mind. There was no way to go all out, but if he went crazy and provoked the strong in order to become stronger and forced the other party to enter a state of desperation with him, that was another thing. That was courting death. System, where am I now? Lin Yuan was silent for a moment, but he still asked the most critical question. Just now, he used the method of olfactory imaging to form a 500-meter picture in his mind. Except for him, there was no second living creature here, not even a single reptile, and there was no smell of beasts in the air. It was as if there were no other living creatures here except for Lin Yuan. Map generation failed. Host, please explore by yourself. 3 consecutive system prompts sounded, and then the dog system entered a state of silence. Forget it, I won't ask you, it's fine as long as my life is not in danger for the time being. Lin Yuan retracted the snake's forked tongue and used his mind to silently activate the item that gave him the opportunity to evolve his bloodline. This was the dragon's blood mentioned by the system. It was also the hidden reward for completing the first stage of the advancement quest. Obviously, the system was not so rigid as to give all the rewards after the completion of the advancement quest. Instead, it gave Lin Yuan a chance to quickly recover his strength. Ding! Analyzing dragon blood, analysis complete. The trace of dragon blood in the host's hand is the blood of a flood dragon. I've analyzed 3 evolutionary directions. The first is a water flood dragon, which can summon wind and rain. The second is a mountain flood dragon, which can move mountains and split the earth. The third is a forest flood dragon, which can give birth to all living things. After using up all the items, the system gave him a corresponding choice. Lin Yuan also fell into a state of choice phobia. In his previous life, he heard that a snake cultivated for 500 years to become a flood dragon, and a flood dragon cultivated for 500 years to become a dragon. At the level of a dragon, it was further divided into levels such as horned dragon, winged dragon, and so on. He did not expect that this drop of flood dragon blood in the hands of the system could give him 3 evolutionary directions. The first was a water flood dragon, which was the traditional evolutionary direction in the ancient myths of his previous life. At this stage, according to the strength of the dragon, it could even control rivers, lakes, and seas, and become the dragon king of a certain region. Of course, whether it was in terms of ability or reputation, it was far from the legendary dragon king of the 4 seas. As for the mountain flood dragon and forest flood dragon, they were existences that Lin Yuan had never heard of in his previous life. One sounded like it had a strong attack power that could move mountains and split the earth. Its evolutionary direction should be the earth dragon, which was the terrifying existence in the legends that could cause an earthquake in a certain region with just a flip of its body. As for the forest flood dragon, it was a bit strange. It was not a traditional evolutionary existence like the water flood dragon, nor was it a terrifying existence like the mountain flood dragon. It could give birth to all living things, but it was somewhat similar to a logistical existence. It was just that he did not know if it could accelerate the growth of the green leaf water lotus. Therefore, Lin Yuan could not help but fall into a fear of making a choice. One was the evolutionary path that he was most familiar with, the other was an evolutionary path that could help him survive better, and the other's growth speed would definitely far surpass the other two. After all, this talent could give birth to phase. System, I choose the water flood dragon. The blue-white vertical pupils slightly lit up. Lin Yuan had already made his choice. He was not a person who liked to take risks. Moreover, his talent was to control water, and there were attribute bonuses in water. Naturally, he was more inclined towards the water flood dragon. Ding! Choice successful. Beginning evolution. At the same time as the electronic voice rang out, Lin Yuan's pitch-black snake body slightly trembled. Some of the damaged flesh began to slowly wriggle, growing new tender granules. These granules continued to proliferate and began to rapidly repair Lin Yuan's body. After his 100-meter-long snake body was completely regenerated, a layer of pitch-black bright scales began to slowly grow on his skin. Ding! Detected changes in the host's body. Automatically used 1 chance to shed skin. The electronic voice rang out again. Lin Yuan's originally intact snake scales began to shatter at this moment, turning into pieces of transparent snake skin that fell from Lin Yuan's body. Originally, Lin Yuan's snake scales were extremely fine, but this time, the newly born black scales were at least the size of an adult's palm. Moreover, not only were they black, but there were also circles of dark golden dragon patterns on the scales. It was somewhat similar to the state of the golden body secrets, but the color was extremely dim. If one did not look carefully, one would not be able to see it. Flood dragon scales. Although Lin Yuan had not completely evolved, the system had already given him a body of flood dragon scales. Now, even if he didn't activate the golden body technique, just this layer of scales and defensive power alone would make it impossible for any creature below the wisdom realm to shatter his scales. Even the human cannons he had seen before might not be able to blast open his scales. The tender red snake tongue came out of his mouth. Lin Yuan moved his body, shaking off the transparent snake skin from his body. All the pain just now seemed to be an illusion, as if it did not exist at all. However, there were still question marks in the status panel. It was clear that Lin Yuan had not recovered to his peak state. After all, this kind of evolution was not a promotion. Although the external injuries were healed, the internal injuries were still there. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully absorbing a trace of dragon blood and changing your bloodline. You have obtained a new innate ability, Flood Dragon Scales. Flood Dragon Scales, the current you is still far from being a dragon, but a trace of the Flood Dragon's bloodline allowed you to evolve into a Flood Dragon Scale armor. Although it is far from being comparable to a real Flood Dragon, it is still not the same as before. When the scales are intact, your defense is increased by 20%. Chapter 75. Ding, 1,300 meters to the west, an intelligent state demonic beast is approaching. Host, please escape as soon as possible. Ding, 1,300 meters to the west, an intelligent state demonic beast is approaching. Host, please escape as soon as possible. Ding, 1,100 meters to the west, an unknown demonic beast is approaching. Host, please escape as soon as possible. Just as he regained some of his combat strength, the system's notification made Lin Yuan's face darken again. Although the intelligent state demonic beast would become a part of his diet sooner or later, he only wanted to complete his advancement mission in peace. After all, he didn't have any intention of bullying the young, and he didn't want to be enemies with other demonic beasts that were one realm higher than him. If he caused too much trouble, he would really die. But the problem was it really possible for him to escape from the hands of two great demons of the wisdom realm and an existence of an unknown realm? Whoosh! 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 For intelligent state demonic beasts, even if they didn't use any tricks, they could cover a distance of more than 1,000 meters in just 7 or 8 steps. Therefore, when Lin Yuan heard the sound of wind breaking, the 3 demonic beasts were already standing in the area where Lin Yuan was temporarily resting. Among the 3 demonic beasts, the one that Lin Yuan was most familiar with was Men Do, the one that scared countless demonic beasts to the point that they didn't dare to move and almost crushed that Jiao snake to death. Of the remaining 2 demonic beasts, one was an old ape with gray hair. It seemed to be a mountain-shaking ape, but it seemed to be different from the mountain-shaking ape. It seemed to have a vertical eye between its eyebrows, but the third eye wasn't open. It was tightly shut and looked like a crack. The other one was a dragon. Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils flashed with a strange color. He looked at the golden scales of the other party and the 2 horns on its snake-like head. He could even feel a faint oppressive force from the other party. Unlike the pressure that the dove snake and the flood dragon snake emitted on their own initiative, the existence in front of him seemed to be a dragon. It seemed to have deliberately suppressed the pressure on its own body, but there was still some lingering charm in its movements. Black Snake, this is Ao Qian from the West Sea Dragon Palace. She originally came to the Hengduan Mountains to kill the Jiao snake, but when she arrived, she saw you fighting with the Jiao snake, so she didn't act rashly. Today, she came here to treat your injuries. But looking at your lively appearance, it seems that you don't need it. Ha ha ha. This is the sage of the Broken Stone clan and the clan leader of our clan. Batu is his son. He heard that you have a way to treat Batu injuries, so he came to see you. Menda stood aside and introduced the 2 beasts to Lin Yuan one by one. Huh. Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils lit up slightly, and a touch of joy flashed through his eyes. Dragon Palace of the 4 Seas? Ao? Was this a coincidence, or was this world actually related to his previous life? If the 2 worlds were related, did it mean that he could return to the world of his previous life? The feeling of having a blood feud on his back was not a good feeling. Not bad. When I first saw you, you were just an ordinary little snake. Now that I look at you again, you have the potential to transform into a Jiao snake. It seems that the Jiao snake really misjudged you. You seem to have the blood of the dragon clan in your body. Ao Qian looked up and down at Lin Yuan. A ray of light flashed in her red vertical eyes. She emphasized the word seems because she was not sure what was going on with Lin Yuan. When he fought with the Jiao snake, this guy was obviously just an ordinary black snake. But after 2 days of recuperation, his body had the blood of a Jiao snake. Even the horns of a Jiao snake had not grown out, but he already had scales. Whether I have the blood of the dragon clan in my body or not, what does it have to do with senior? Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical eyes hid all his emotions. The muscles of his body were slightly tense, ready to enter the battle state at any time. He did not mind using the greatest malice to figure out all the monsters. After all, this was a place where the strong preyed on the weak. He was just an ordinary black snake, but he condensed the blood of a Jiao snake. Even if the real dragon clan looked down on Jiao dragons, they would definitely be curious about what means Lin Yuan used to evolve his blood. The way these monsters solved their curiosity was often to directly snatch the other party's things and bring them to themselves. Of course it has something to do with it. If you are the blood of the dragon clan scattered outside, you should leave with me. You can choose one of the dragon palaces of the 4 seas to live in. It is better than being careful in this Hengduan mountain range. When Ao Qian said these words, there was a high and mighty momentum. Even if she was the overlord of this area, she did not have any intention of restraining herself. It was as if the monsters in the Hengduan mountain range were all inferior creatures, and the dragon clan of the 4 seas could stand on the clouds and overlook everything. What was strange was that the mountain-shaking ape clan, who had always been known for their bad temper, stood there silently. Seeing that Lin Yuan was still expressionless, Ao Qian smiled coldly and said, "Little black snake, don't tell me you are so naive to think that you can become the strongest just by yourself. You should know that in the entire Tianwu continent, the monsters must pay attention to their blood. And as long as it is stained with the word dragon, it can almost be equated with strength. Now, do you understand the level of power of the dragon palaces of the 4 seas? As long as we are willing, there is no problem in sinking the entire Tianwu continent to the bottom of the sea. System, the dragon palaces of the 4 seas in this world, are they the dragon palaces of the 4 seas that I know?" Lin Yuan did not reply, but silently communicated with the system through his mind. I don't know if the dragon palaces of the 4 seas in this world are related to the dragon palaces of the 4 seas that the host knows, but I can be sure that the dragon palaces of the 4 seas in this world do not even have a dragon king, let alone a dragon king. The host will understand what the so-called title of dragon king means in the future. The system sneered and replied casually. Lin Yuan's face still did not show any joy or sorrow, but his yearning for the dragon palaces of the 4 seas had completely disappeared. A dragon palace that did not even have a few true dragons, how could it be called a dragon palace? Gently shaking his head, Lin Yuan replied with his mind, "I am sorry, senior. Although I do have the blood of the dragon clan in my body, I have nothing to do with the dragon palaces of the 4 seas. Furthermore, I do not want to leave the Hengduan mountain range." Hearing this, Ao Qian's face stiffened. She could not understand. The dragon palaces of the 4 seas were famous for their fighting prowess. How could there be a monster who refused to join the dragon palaces of the 4 seas? With the name of the dragon palaces of the 4 seas hanging on his body, as long as he did not do anything that angered the heavens, even the nobles of the 7 great dynasties would have to think twice before offending him. Chapter 76. Well, the Hengduan mountain range seems to be powerful, but it's just a group of chickens and pottery dogs waiting to die. What you have seen now is just a corner. When you regret it, come to the West Sea Dragon Palace to find me. But at that time, the conditions I can give will certainly not be better than now. Ao Qian blinked her eyes. Her figure flashed, and she directly disappeared on the spot. This, Mendo's mouth was slightly open with a look of astonishment. Ao Qian of the West Sea Dragon Palace wanted to recruit the Black Snake. He originally thought that it was a great opportunity. With the help of the Dragon Palace, Bada's injury could be better treated. But he never thought that the black snake was not even a little bit moved and directly refused the recruitment from the West Sea Dragon Palace. Didn't the dragon snake that he had killed before rely on his ability to transform into a dragon and the opportunity to join the Dragon Palace of the Four Seas in the future so that he dared not put the overlord of this area in his eyes? A person who had the opportunity to join the Dragon Palace was so arrogant, but a person who could really join the Dragon Palace directly refused. Mendo, step back. The three-eyed ape reached out and patted Mendo's shoulder and whispered. Yes. Mendo, like a child, respectfully bowed his head and then silently retreated to the side. Black Snake, your name is now well known in the Hengduan mountain range. In a few months, you grew from an ordinary black snake to an existence that can fight with the wisdom state demon beasts today. There are not many unusual creatures like you in countless years. Moreover, 80% of them are from the human clan and not demon beasts. So, you are very special. But you are too dazzling. The human clan will not let you continue to grow. Even if the Broken Stone clan can shelter you for a while, they can't shelter you forever. If you want to live, you must improve yourself faster and then go deeper into the area until those humans dare not attack you again. The three-eyed ape said slowly with a faint smile on his face. Senior, what do you mean? Lin Yuan was slightly stunned. He thought that the three-eyed ape might tell him about Batu and that the three-eyed ape wanted to get some benefits from him. But he never thought that the three-eyed ape would appear here just to remind him to be careful of humans. What was this? Was it a show of goodwill? It's just an investment in advance. You have the Dragon Clan's bloodline and the invitation of the Dragon Palace, but you resolutely refused the invitation of the Dragon Palace. This shows that you have greater ambitions. From the outermost demon beast forest to our area, the biggest obstacle in front of you is my Gravel clan, isn't it? If we didn't have Batu as a link, when you appeared at the edge of the Hengduan mountain range, I would have sent all my subordinates out until you were completely destroyed. But now, I think we can talk. The three-eyed ape was still smiling. Lord Sage. Mendo's mouth was wide open, and his face revealed the same astonishment as Lin Yuan's. A black snake at the 10th level of the Spirit Awakening realm did have a place in this area, but it was nothing in front of the Shattered Stone clan. Disregarding everything else, just the Mendo could easily crush this black snake. But Lord Sage's words had a hint of weakness. I don't quite understand what senior means. Lin Yuan slightly tilted his eyes and softly replied. No matter if it's a human or a beast, the fastest time of cultivation is often when they just start cultivating. A few months on the children of my clan might not even be able to learn how to walk, but on you, you were able to turn from an ordinary black snake into a level 10 monster beast today. This kind of growth speed has already surpassed any monster beast that I know of. Even the children of the Dragon Clan might not be able to catch up to you. Right now, you're just a minion that can be destroyed at any time to our Shattered Stone clan, but in the future, you will grow into an existence that the entire mountain-shaking ape clan must look up to. So, there are only two choices in front of me. I choose to stand on your side, it's that simple. As the three-eyed ape spoke, he suddenly reached out and pierced the black line between his eyebrows. Puchi. Dark red blood sprayed over half of Lin Yuan's snake body. When he recovered, the three-eyed ape was already holding a gray stone bead and placing it in front of Lin Yuan. This is one of the inheritances of my Shattered Stone clan. It is called the Eye of Petrification. Once you pour in your demonic power, you can open the eye. After opening the eye, it will release a petrifying light. No matter what monster beast it is, it will turn into a stone statue. It's just that the time it takes to turn into a stone statue depends on the strength of the realm. Just treat it as a greeting gift from the old monkey. The three-eyed ape gently tossed the Eye of Petrification in his hand, and the latter immediately floated above Lin Yuan's head. Compared to Mendo's confusion, Lin Yuan was more shocked. Was this three-eyed ape really a monster beast? Faced with a junior who was growing at an extremely terrifying speed, anyone would feel that this junior would threaten their position as the overlord. Therefore, they would often destroy this outstanding junior at all costs. However, the phrase, beat a snake to death, was applicable everywhere. Once they couldn't completely destroy this outstanding junior, the two sides would form an irreconcilable hatred. The destruction of a power could often only be because of a momentary selfish desire of the person in power. However, the three-eyed ape chose to be on good terms with Lin Yuan when the same multiple-choice question was placed in front of it. In the future, if Lin Yuan could transform into a dragon, not only would the Shattered Stone tribe be able to maintain their current position, they would even be able to advance a step further under Lin Yuan's reverse nurturing, expanding their territory to an even more vast area. This kind of multiple-choice question, the majority of humans couldn't do it well, but a monster beast could think it through so thoroughly. The name of a wise man was indeed not in vain. I understand. Lin Yuan slightly lowered his snake head, and a strange color flashed through his blue-white vertical pupils. Ding, detecting that the host has obtained the E-grade tool, Eye of Petrification. Do you wish to equip it? The system's ice-cold electronically synthesized voice sounded again. Equip, Lin Yuan glanced at the Eye of Petrification floating above his head. Speaking of which, petrifying opponents seemed to be a traditional skill of snake demons. For example, the Medusa of Western mythology. However, although this Eye of Petrification had to comply with the difference in strength, it didn't need others to look at it. It only needed it to look at others. Following the system's confirmation, the Eye of Petrification floating above Lin Yuan's head suddenly turned into a gray light that shone on Lin Yuan's head. After a moment, the black snake scales on Lin Yuan's forehead slowly turned into a lime color. Pieces of prismatic scales formed an eyeball imprint on Lin Yuan's head. Chapter 77. Host, Lin Yuan status, Heavenly Black Python, in the process of transforming into a flood dragon, realm, 10 out of 10 innate skills, 1. Identify enemy's location based on smell, cannot advance, 2. Create an accurate image of a 500-meter radius based on smell, 0/100, 3. Water/ice control, 0/100, 4. Sacrificial blood wish technique, make a wish with your own blood or another creature's blood, can be replaced with attribute points. Whether or not the wish is fulfilled depends on the strength of the wish and the quality of the sacrifice. 5. Flood Dragon Scale Armor. When the scale armor is in good condition, it can provide the host with a 20% increase in defense. Speed, 14, 10, defense, 23 plus 5. 6 Attack, 14, 10, distributable points, 5 Martial Arts, Golden Body Secrets, 55/75, skills, 1. Death Coil, 138 to 300, 2. Poison of Poisoned Wine, 0/300, 3. Tail Strike, 21 out of 100, 4. Blood Boil Technique, 1/100, 5. All things have spirit, can communicate with other creatures through thought, cannot advance, items, damaged light feather, can be repaired, petrified eye name, light feather, already destroyed, effect, speed +1 upon equipping, additional skill, light feather wind skill, light feather wind, when you fall from a high place, you can glide for a short time. Note, the cost of repairing an item is 10 attribute points. Name, Petrified Eye Effect, no equipment effects, additional skills, Sharp Perception, Petrified Light skills, 1. Sharp Perception, you, who have a third eye, have vision and senses that normal people can't reach. 2. Petrified Light, use Yao Qi to activate the Petrified Eye, which can shoot out a ray of light that can petrify living creatures. Mission Panel, Name, Owlserpent's Form Stage 2 Description, you use the body of a rank 10 monster to kill a Wisdom Realm monster and 1. The current you has already made a name for yourself in the Hengduan mountain range. Most of the Wisdom Realm monsters have already acknowledged your existence. Weak monsters will tremble when they see you. Strong monsters will show you some respect when they see you. But to you, the new king of the jungle, this is far from enough. What you need is submission, not respect. Go, you come, you see, you conquer. Mission requirement: defeat or absorb 3 monster clans. Mission reward: faction relationship model, advance to wisdom realm. Failure penalty: lose the qualification to evolve. Mission progress: 1/3 time limit, 1 month. Seeing the new urgent mission, Lin Yuan felt his face twitching crazily. There were many demonic beasts in the Hengduan mountain range. One could casually encounter large and small clans. However, there weren't many that could be called a demonic beast clan. After all, in order to become a clan, the clan must first have 3 great demonic beasts of wisdom realm and above. The total number of demonic beasts in the clan must be no less than 200. They must have a territory, and this territory must have a complete ecological chain. It couldn't be a dead land. The demons that Lin Yuan had hunted before could only be considered as stragglers at best. Killing them was not a big deal. However, if you were to start a war with the clan, that would be a different matter. At the same time, not far from the territory of the Stony clan, the remaining leaders of the 3 clans in this area all gathered on a small mountain. They were the leader of the Winter Wolf clan, Blizzard, the leader of the Winter Wolf clan, Qin Yan, the leader of the Black Tortoise clan, and the leader of the Hunting Wind clan, Pingqiu, the leader of the Black Fox clan, who had always appeared and disappeared mysteriously. The 3 great demonic beasts at the peak of Wisdom Realm sat together. They looked at each other, but no one spoke first. Stop talking. This king will speak first. Blizzard narrowed his wolf eyes and said in a cold tone, "You guys know about the black snake that became famous recently, right? This king has already received accurate information. That black snake has already joined forces with the Stony clan. Perhaps soon, when you and I see that black snake, we will have to bow respectfully. So what? We demonic beasts have always been like this. As long as we are strong, we will be respected." Qin Yan glanced at Blizzard and said in a low muffled voice. "TSK, Qin Yan, are you pretending to be dumb or have you really become dumb from sleeping? The Blizzard Wolf King clearly wants to say that the old monkey has been suppressing us all our lives." When the old monkey was about to die, the Stony clan came out. Although the old monkey isn't as strong as the old monkey and can continue to suppress the 3 of us, the Winter Wolf clan still has a chance to replace the old monkey. Now that the Stony clan has the help of that black snake, the Stony clan's fighting strength has reached a new level. The Blizzard Wolf clan still has to be the Dog King, not the Wolf King that it fantasizes about. Pingqiu narrowed his fox eyes. He looked like he was smiling, but his voice was cold. Qin Yan turned his huge head to the side and said slowly, "So, our Dog King wants to trick us into joining forces with it. He wants us to start a war with the Stony clan. The best case scenario is that we and the Stony clan both suffer losses so that he can reap the benefits." As soon as he finished speaking, Blizzard's eyes flashed with a hint of gloominess. He, we can't help it. Our Dog King thinks that he's the only one with brains." Pingqiu chuckled and looked at Blizzard with a mocking gaze. As the leader of the Winter Wolf clan, Blizzard was naturally embarrassed to be mocked in front of everyone. However, it wasn't good for him to make trouble now. He could only say with a gloomy face, "Who are you talking to? If the 2 of you were willing to continue watching those apes dominate this area, you wouldn't have bothered to talk to me. Why would you gather here?" Qin Yan and Pingqiu snorted at the same time, but they didn't say anything. The Stony clan was able to dominate this area mainly because of the existence of the 3-eyed ape. When it reached adulthood, it could even easily crush the leaders of the Winter Wolf, Stony Rock, and Hunting Wind clans. Therefore, their fathers had been suppressed by the 3-eyed ape for their entire lives. In their generation, they were still suppressed by the 3-eyed ape for most of their lives. It wasn't easy for the 3-eyed ape to reach the end of its lifespan. The appearance of the Mendu clan instantly dispelled their thoughts of destroying the Stony clan. The balance between the 4 sides was not bad. However, the most important problem now was that the Stony clan had formed a good relationship with the Black Snake clan. Whether it was the Mendu clan or the Black Snake clan, they were both kings. If these two clans joined forces, the balance would be broken. To put it more seriously, although the Hengduan Mountains was vast, the territory was not endless. There were only so many places suitable for the demon beast to breed. For example, this area could only accommodate the existence of 4 clans. If the Black Snake clan was determined to take root here, then they could join forces with the Stony clan and kick one of the 3 clans out at any time. It was fine if they couldn't become the new overlord. After all, they could only dream about it for so many years. However, when it involved their own interests, it was a different matter. No one wanted to be the loser who was kicked out of the game. Chapter 78. Because the host's existence has hindered the next deployment of the Winterwolf clan, the relationship between the Winterwolf clan and the host has decreased by 15 points. The current relationship is hostile. Because the Winterwolf clan leader Blizzard has fanned the flames, the relationship between the host and the Boulder clan has decreased by 15 points. The current relationship is cold. Because the Winterwolf clan leader Blizzard has fanned the flames, the relationship between the host and the Huntwind clan has decreased by 15 points. The current relationship is cold. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have become enemies with 3 of the 4 major clans in this area. The faction battle model has been unlocked. Please enter the faction battle model to view the details. Question marks began to appear on top of Lin Yuan's head. He still didn't know how to complete the system's promotion mission. In the end, except for the Boulder clan, the other 3 major clans were all standing on the opposite side of him. Wasn't this a hellish start? No. Lin Yuan's blue-white vertical pupils suddenly shrank, staring at the 3-eyed ape whose face was covered in blood. The huge snake body began to tremble slightly. No matter what kind of demon beast it would abide by the law of the jungle. If a demon beast was too old, then it would be exiled by its original clan to another area and be left to fend for itself. The rations freed up could be used to provide for the needs of the clan's young. Although the 3-eyed ape looked old, it was able to sit in the position of the Boulder clan's leader. Even such a strong person like Menda followed its lead. It was enough to prove that this 3-eyed ape was definitely a super strong person. However, after handing over the eyes of petrification to Lin Yuan, the 3-eyed ape did not just look old. At the moment, it looked like an old man with 1 foot in the grave, and it seemed that it could die suddenly in front of Lin Yuan at any time. He seemed to have been tricked by this old guy. Although he had hunted a few hunting teams of the Winterwolf clan and had always been at odds with them, the conflict had not been brought to the surface. Why did the Wolf King called Blizzard provoke the hostility of the other 2 clans towards him? Obviously, the 3-eyed ape didn't have many days left to live. Today it suddenly came to show goodwill, not only because it saw Lin Yuan's future potential, but also because it didn't believe that after it died, with only Menda's strength and wisdom, it could continue to maintain the Boulder clan's position as the overlord of this area. This old man was here to drag him down with him. However, he had already received the benefits, so there was no way he could return it. He could only suffer in silence and swallow the bitterness into his stomach. With your aptitude, it's only a matter of time before you establish a force. Here, you have the help of the Gravel clan. In fact, it's quite easy to settle down here. If you were in another place, the result would be hard to say. I think this is one of the reasons why you approached Batu, isn't it? I will give you all the benefits you deserve, and all I ask is for you to fulfill your duty as our ally. If you don't believe me, you can withdraw from this area and watch from the sidelines. When the 3 of them divide up my Gravel clan, you can see if I've coaxed you. After looking at Lin Yuan for a moment, the 3-eyed ape seemed to have guessed what Lin Yuan was thinking. Lin Yuan was speechless. After a long while, he nodded heavily. Although the growth of the green leaf water lotus was extremely slow, it was indeed a rare opportunity. Lin Yuan couldn't give it up. So he wanted to develop his force in the Hengduan Mountains. This place connected to the monster forest was his best springboard. If he went to other areas, even if he could conquer a territory, Lin Yuan couldn't accept it. After all, there was a territory of other monster beasts in between. If something happened to the green leaf water lotus, Lin Yuan would have to look at the other party's face before he could go back to help. The three-eyed ape sneered and waved to the guard at the side. They left the place one after another. Force relationship model, Blackwater Dragon Palace, can be renamed leader, Lin Yuan, member, Batu, 100, Mountain Shaking Ape Gravel Clan, leader, Bayard, member. Gentle, Frost Wolf Winter Wolf Clan, leader, Blizzard, member. Hatred, Black Fox Hunting Wind Clan, leader, Pingqiu, member. Cold, Black Tortoise Boulder Clan, leader, Qin Yan, member. Cold, Demon Subduing Master Iron Hand Regiment, leader, Iron Hand, member. Hatred, Mountain Blocking Cities Lu Clan. Mortal Enemy, Mountain Blocking Cities City Lord Residence. Mortal Enemy, Force Battle Model, name, Stoneclaw Forest Scramble, yet to begin, Attacking Forces, Winter Wolf, Crevice, Boulder, weak, Defending Forces, Gravel, Blackwater, weak, Evaluation, evenly matched opponents. Note, the evaluation of the force's strength is based on the average of all the forces in the Tianwu continent. It is divided into 5 grades, extremely weak, weak, average, strong, invincible. If the host obtains victory in this battle, the host will receive 300 war points. If the host loses in this battle, the host will have to pay 300 war points. Note, the war points can be used to purchase special items. If the host's war points are 0, the penalty for failure will be deducted from the host's attribute points. The current ratio is 1 attribute point for every 10 war points. The host can exchange war points for attribute points. The current ratio is 1 attribute point for every 100 war points. Note, the host cannot exchange attribute points for war points. Trash. After glancing at the newly unlocked force battle model, Lin Yuan snorted in disdain. The combined strength of the 3 clans was only equal to the Gravel clan. With this, they still wanted to be the overlord? However, very quickly, Lin Yuan's vertical pupils flashed with a hint of astonishment. Something seemed to be wrong. The Gravel clan was only able to fight evenly with the other 3 clans because of the existence of the three-eyed ape. However, the other 3 clans were not fools. As long as the three-eyed ape was alive, they would not bare their fangs. F***ck. After thinking for a while, Lin Yuan finally could not hold back and curse it out loud. If he lost this battle, not only would it affect his future plans, it would also directly deduct 30 attribute points. It was equivalent to directly kicking him from a grade 10 demonic beast to a grade 6 demonic beast. Moreover, when the second stage of the promotion mission ended, the system would directly unbind him. At that time, even if Lin Yuan could return to the demonic beast forest alive, he would be separated from the top of the food chain. At most, he would be considered as a high-level predator. Moreover, he would have to face the pursuit of the city lord of Mountain Blocking City, the Lu clan, and the 3 clans if he won. Before this battle of forces even started, Lin Yuan had already seen through it. This was another trap that the system had arranged for him. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.